Hey, it's me, Kicks. What's up, y'all? How are we doing on this beautiful Sunday? I don't know about y'all, but I went out last night. And I probably did some things I shouldn't have done. What's up, Rudra? Mm. Um, but no, I went out last night. I don't know why I do this to myself. You know, I always come on here and I try to give the best that I can. And this is not going to be a sob story. I'm just going to go ahead and just say this out loud. Whatever. And what I'm trying to say is I'm debating if I want to change to doing my live streams at night on Sundays instead of early Sundays. I'll be honest, it's not garnishing as many people in the chat as I would hope. So that's one thing. The other thing is I want to figure out the best way to kind of improve these streams, because it's not just for you guys and me, but it's also, to build the community. And if I can't build the community because of the time that we're currently shooting, then it may be better for us to kind of look at another time to see what fits and what can garnish us the better time slots. So if you're watching this, next Sunday might be at night instead of 11 a.m. my time. And for the most people that watch this stream, they're over in India or Europe and it's late night for them, which will obviously suck for some of them. I apologize in advance that it may turn around and be early morning for them instead of late night. But I got to figure out what's better suited for the platform in itself. But it doesn't mean you won't see my face. I also have been discussing with my team, and when I mean my team, it's me. Well, Rudra, to answer yours, it wasn't as if I had control of the hour shift. That's just literally how our time goes here. I mean, the best thing that I could have done is turn around and start doing it at 10 instead of 9. But who the hell waking up earlier? I love y'all. But waking up earlier and having to go to bed earlier, and it just shifts the whole life. That's why I'm like, is it better for us to do a nighttime stream? But then I start to think about it. Am I competing with all the big names? You know what I mean? Am I competing with all the big names on other streams? So it's a little bit of what I'm trying to figure out now. So don't be surprised if we start testing different times. Just make sure make sure the notification bell is hit so that you guys know when I go live. That way, if I spring up on y'all ass, you're like, oh wait, we found him. You feel me? Y'all get what I'm saying? I hope so. All right. So as far as today goes and what we're jumping into, We got a laundry list of shit to do today. We are going to be doing some recaps. We're also going to be doing some. I want to try to introduce. I told you we're going to be trying some new things. I'm going to be doing some murder story reactions today. This one kind of hits close to home, only because I'll explain when we look into it. That will probably, and I'm gonna be honest, if y'all aren't into it, that is going to be about an hour. If I'm being honest, we're gonna go into a murder story and understanding it, and it's gonna be about an hour. So look, and I figured I would start. Oh, Ruja, you like that kind of stuff. All right. I figured I would start with, like I mentioned, one that's close to home where I have met some of the players in the trial or in the case. And it sucks because I'm not going to go put my personal things. It's not like I knew them very, very well. It's like I've met them once or twice. And it's unfortunate of how it panned out. It wasn't as I was supposed to meet them. It just so happened we had friends of friends. So I did hear about the Junko Furuta case. He's the one that ended up becoming a musician, right? Or am I thinking of someone else? Oh, the murder of Junko. Oh, no, it's the Japanese girl. Yes, I think I know this one. This one was where it was a group of guys that kind of kept her kidnapped her and kept her for such a long time. I would actually love to do. Yes, I've seen the documentary of this. It was, oh yes. And then I think they ended up putting her body in like a drum. But and Tokyo's high ends didn't want to prosecute it appropriately because one of the kids' dads was a high ranking Look, we gonna have to go over the Junko because it's sad, but it still shows how not far Japan has come. Because I think he was still released after that gruesome thing, and he went and did the same shit to someone else, I want to say. But definitely want to do Junko. Definitely. And the thing about murder mysteries, there's always going to be murder. Which means there's always going to be stories. So hell is empty because of, hey, that is a powerful saying. But I would argue and combat with you on, are we technically right now living in hell? Think about it. Could this be hell? And after we pass, life is easier? Because for some people, this could be their hell. And they believe hell can't get worse than this. It sucks, but I would imagine it's part of what a lot of people feel. And one of the main things is you can't really tell somebody how they're supposed to feel. You feel me? I can't believe I've just said it like that. You can't tell somebody how to feel. You feel me? But you get what I'm saying. So like, we're gonna introduce murder mysteries to the field, and then we're just gonna kick it and see how things go. And I don't think I'm gonna do like a very, very long stream today. I'm gonna aim, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna aim for about 3 hours. Only because So I guess the next announcement that I'm gonna give may give a little insight. Perfect, Rudra. You might be my guy for murder mysteries or murder cases. And I like to know the international ones, not just the American ones, because I feel like the storytelling of the YouTube channels are sometimes spectacular. Like, I ain't trying to be the next Rotten Mango, but she can tell a story. I don't know if you ever watched Rotten Mango, but she can tell a story. And I low key love her channel. Shout out to Rotten Mango. I'm too small, so she probably won't ever see this, but shout out to Rotten Mango for the fact that she discovers she has an awesome team that gets into it. And it's just, if you haven't watched Rotten Mango and some of the mysteries and stories, she does a big genre of, a lot of it is coming from Asia, but she also does mysteries in like the US. But it's just the way she delivers it and how accurate and how detailed her team gets, and just her delivery is amazing. So check out, that's who I watch when I have free time. So Rotten Mango she's dope. And I think I said her name wrong. I think I said her name right. Rotten Mango. Did I? I just need to double check. Yes, Rotten Mango. She's very huge on YouTube, but she can tell a story. But the only thing I would say, if you're gonna watch her story, them things like 2.5 hours long. And that's how detailed she gets. So I would say she does her homework. And yes, I'm simply glazing her right now. Yes, we're glazing her right now. Okay. So that's where we're at. So far where we're at is going to do recap for this week. We're gonna jump into some murder mystery, and then I'll open it up for everyone to submit like their recommendations if they're in here. I'm also waiting for a lot of people to come in. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that can also help later on with that. So, all right, let's jump into first Gachiakuta. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Gachiakuta. Did you guys watch this past week's episode of Gachiakuta? Either way, if you didn't, go back and check it out. Look, because we putting on, what else? Okay, I will definitely look at that, Rudra. Okay, so let's get into Gachiakuta and what that has to offer. Because this week, the Cleaners versus the Raiders, and we're about to find out who is the best. I was little, I myself didn't think that Rudro would get himself caught up in a trick. But of course, Rudro got caught up in the trick, was pulled in to the portal, and then now it basically was the Cleaners versus the Raiders. But I'm also happy that Rudra didn't go alone. It wouldn't have made for good anime, of course, but I'm just happy that Rudra didn't make it alone. And so since Rudra didn't make it alone, I wanted to see this. This is what we've been waiting for. And I know I'm behind and I'm catching up. I'll be releasing 2 episodes of Gachiakuta tomorrow. Am I saying Rudra? I am saying Rudo. Oh my God. My bad. Rudo. It's so close. It's so close. Rudra, Rudo, it's literally 2 letters off. My bad. Maybe I want you to be in the story, sir. But what I mean is Rudo, I apologize, Rudo. Rudo has essentially been pulled into the portal, but I'm excited to see about how these fight scenes pan out. Because as we left off, they were getting ready. They were basically showcasing their skills. And Rio is the one that I'm really, really concerned for. And why I say I'm really concerned for, Rio's instrument is scissors, which is also metal. And because it's metal, the person she's fighting, her hair has static electricity. Now, I hope you all have been, through class and you know what science does. Metal and electric shouldn't be touching because electric can pass through metal, which if you're holding the other end of metal, it ain't gonna be nice to you. It just ain't. So think about like a taser. When you shoot a taser, what do you think the prongs are? They're metal prongs. And the wires are metal wires, little bob wires to go through to make the electricity travel through it. So that's who I'm really afraid of, because how is she going to use her instrument if she can't touch her opponent or she can't touch her ops? Because her ops is about to electrocute the hell out of Rio, and Rio about to be chop suey. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want Rio to be chop suey. Episode 18. Okay. So right now I am on, everybody knows if you watched it, episode 15. Tomorrow I will drop 16 and 17. I will drop 2. I don't want to be, so the thing is, I'm trying to avoid being like a quick turnaround, because it's been helpful for me to not have the pressure of, oh, today 18 drops today, I got to get it out tomorrow. You feel me? It's been nice not having that quick turnaround, but my numbers have suffered. And you know what? We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So we'll drop 16 and 17 tomorrow, and hopefully you guys enjoy those reactions. Now, next on the docket, Goblin. I don't know if you guys have watched my Goblin, Rudra. I know you don't normally do, but boy, did your boy shed some tears. Hey, I haven't shed this much tears since the very first episode of Goblin. And you might be saying, what do you mean by tears? Your boy boo-hooed mother-sucking cried, okay? I ain't got no shame in it. I ain't got no shame in it. You know, some people are emotional, some people are not. I so happen to get emotional over certain topics. And I mentioned it in the reaction that it hit close to home. For some of you who just tuned in into my channel and you don't know me very well, I'm in the middle of my grieving period. As you guys, if you've ever watched any of my animes, you understand why, because my end credits tells you everything you need to know. So, watching Goblin this past episode, Kim Shin, who has been his the grandpa, Yoon, who's been literally his person since generation after generation after generation, who understood their assignment. They just understood their assignment each time. And to watch how a grown man will stop, and I know it's a K-drama, I know it's theatric, but when you're emotionally invested into a video, into a series, your emotions fluctuate with what the series is offering. And so when Song Yu died, it was like the Goblin losing his father or losing a parental figure. Even though the Goblin is older, it was just like he passed. You can prepare yourself. I don't care how anybody say it. You can prepare yourself as much as you want for the death of someone. But when that comes, oh, oh, reality hits you. And reality is telling you, you could have prepared. You could have said everything in your head that this was going to come. But when reality hits, you're never prepared. It's like when you have a child. You can prepare all you want for the child, but you don't know how it's going to feel until you feel it. And so because when that hit, oh Lord. Oh Lord. Yeah. I am not the big bad man that y'all may think I am, but that little boy, it wasn't like I was like hysterically crying, but you knew it was an emotional moment. But outside of that, that was one of the bigger triggers of that episode. The other thing that I am happy about is that Kim Sheen and Sunny Sheen are essentially not Sunny Sheen, Kim Sheen, and so it's Sheen Kim. So Sheen is his first name, Kim is his last name, and then Sunny Kim, who's our brother and sister in past lives. But they finally realize who they were and they start to get closer, which I love. But on the flip side, the Goblin, or Shin Kim, has finally figured out who the Grim Reaper is. And because he figured out who the Grim Reaper is, the Grim Reaper was part of his past life. And now that he found out that he's part of his past life, episode 12 ended on a beautiful cliffhanger. So there's a lot to unspan here. I feel like now that also Untak has learned that what will happen when she pulls the sword, if she pulls the sword, what will happen, how her life will change. There's a lot of things that I don't want to give away if you haven't watched it yet, but if you guys have my Patreon, it's full uncut episodes on the Patreon, like every other series that I'm watching. Gachiakuta is on there. Fidian is also on there. All of it is on there. So make sure you go ahead, take a look at the Patreon, because it's going to give you everything you want. And if you're joining in right now and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey, because I believe y'all deserve to be here. I mean, I got a lot to offer. I think I got a lot to offer. But either way, that's the other one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of the bigger series that I feel like everybody is like excited for us to be watching. Now, we've been watching it for some time. I low-key like it, and I'm not mad about it, you know? I feel like we're getting to a point of this anime that is about to take off. Oh, appreciate it, Rudra. Hang on. All right. But yeah, appreciate it, Rudra. Hey, DG, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? You were learning about cinnamon? What, are you in a cooking class? But this is turning out to be a really, really, really good series. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know shit about fantasy world. This was recommended from my community. It hasn't disappointed yet. It was a very slow start, but now I feel like that we've gotten episode 7. I feel like that we've gotten to episode 7. It is essentially changing a lot of what my first anticipation were. And so, for those who haven't watched Furion, the journey, the journey to the end, the Beyond the Journey's End, it didn't make sense to me when I first read it. I was like, but I think I'm starting to understand it, of what Beyond Journey's End means. But I feel like Furion in this series is trying to humanize herself. And we start to find ways of, well, she starts to find ways, and I don't feel like she's seeking it, but it's finding her, of ways to be more human. And what I mean by be more human, it's, think of like being an elf who can, and this is what I've learned so far, being an elf who can live thousands of years. You don't grasp life like a human, because humans, we have an expiration date. Humans have an expiration date from literally 60 to about 80, and that's average. Now, your expiration date can come a lot sooner, but if you had a full life, you're probably looking at around 70 to 80 years on Earth or alive. That's a drop in a bucket for someone like Firidian. So to be able to grasp things in an emotional aspect is different, because you can go see something and never go see it again in your life. But Firidian could go look at it every 1,000 years because she ages at a slower pace, or she just have a longer span. So to see that character growth. Wait, what? Firidian hasn't hit puberty yet? Oh, that's even worse. But you can tell by the way she acts in the series, because it's like, oh, I'm going to be a procrastinator. I'm going to be lethargic. I'm going to be lazy, all of these. And she doesn't have the sense of urgency because of her age and how long she knows she's going to live. So if you've been on Earth for thousands of years, you ain't going to have a sense of urgency that you need to do everything and anything while you're alive. So looking at it at that aspect, I was just like, okay, this is making sense. Then we get to episode 7 and 8. I learned that she picks and chooses what she's going to follow. Why I say that? Episode 7, we learned they get to a castle, and there are devils at the castle. But there's also humans at the castle with the king. So when the king's guard pushes her to the ground, of course, Firidian could go ahead and fight and destroy everybody in that kingdom. But why? Why stir up and turn herself into that type of person? So she allowed them, and I'm going to say allowed them because she didn't react, to take her to prison. But the one thing that kind of triggered it for me is how nonchalant she was about being sentenced to 2 to 3 years. She literally says that will literally let me catch up on my sleep or some shit like that. 2 to 3 years in prison? People cry in today's reality over having 60 days in jail. But her saying 2 to 3 years in prison, I'll eat that. It's crazy. So what I want to say is like we also learn that Fern has the ability to be a badass. And I can't wait to see Fern flourish. Because Fern, she has been learning a lot of things. Going to school is kind of like jail type. I'm dead. But for Fern, I low-key like the purple hair. If I can find me a little girl, ooh, if I can find me a little cutie with purple hair, that might be a little something, something. Hi. But what I'm saying in this case is, think about it. Fern is growing up as well. Wait, what is he spoiling? Ruger, what is he spoiling? But Fern is 27. But when Fern met Firion, she was only 9. So that's telling me we already knew Fern wasn't an elf. So my question to be, and I'm not excited for it, how far are we going to go in this timeline? Oh. I want to know how far it goes with Fern as far as her timeline. Because as we skip, and I think someone mentioned to me, there's not going to be another big skip. So maybe this journey is going to keep Fern at a young age. But what I'm also very curious about is this relationship between, or this back and forth bittering between Fern and so Fern is not 27? I'm so confused. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going. So with Fern and Stark, they got that little playground cuteness of like that black back and forth bitterness. I mean, back and forth bickering, where don't call me Mister, and she starts teasing him, and he's like, okay, call me Mister. You see, and that's where I'm sitting here like, okay, these two got a little bit of chemistry building up. We're gonna have to pay attention to how this pans out. And I loved already how they got to already have a mission of teamwork when they went to went to go save the king, and they were in the middle of battling Aura. My question is, who would technically have won between Aura and Fern at the point of where Fern is? Because I'm just going to assume that we're going to see Fern get stronger because she's hanging out with Fidian and she's learning all these spells. Because it made it so clear when she zapped, I don't remember his name, the lead demon. I forgot his name. The lead demon or devil demon. He realized that she was using an ancient spell. Oh, Jesus. Y'all calm down. Over here having a back and forth argument. Y'all over here having a back and forth in my comments. Y'all crazy. So now that we see it, I want to see how they pan out. And what I mean by pan out, I want to see how strong she gets, because when she shot that lead demon who was leading the two demons, he basically said, I haven't seen this type of spell in so long. And that's how he was able to derive to, oh, it's Freedion. It's Freedion the warrior, or Freedion the bee, or whatever they called her. But I'm excited to see what episode 9 and 10 has to offer, because as we finished episode 8, she was in front of the army. She was in front of a huge army, and we've seen flashbacks where she's destroyed a lot of people. Burying the Demon Slayer. There you go. But she was in front of a whole army, and she looking like she was getting ready to slaughter some people. So I'm excited for this next episode. So make sure y'all stay tuned the next Friday, because that's when it's going to be dropping. All right? And if you're in here and you're not a member yet, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't make me tell y'all again. Don't be that creeper in the back of the classroom just paying attention and you not part of the group. Just smash that subscribe button. We're going to see y'all every week when we do this. I think Freon Solo's Demon Slayer verse. I don't get what you mean by that. But, okay. Now that we have finished Fidian, last week I dropped a couple of things. One completely flopped, and I'll be honest, I don't know why I did that one and posted it. It was a good real life mysteries, but I just didn't like the format as much. The other one that I dropped this week was in the reactions was, of course, what we went over last week. It was the top movies that were supposed to be coming out this year and next year. So that's exciting. So today we are about to commence on our murder case that I had mentioned to y'all. Now, we gonna see how you guys feel about this one. Do we commit arson? What? I don't get what you mean. Is that a story? So I want to go over and look at and make sure I set this up the right way. So in this next one, we're about to spend some time Oh, the demon committed arson. There might be a delay. I didn't see that fast. All right. So we're going to watch the story of Rachel Wade. You know what's been anime? We're going to watch the story of Rachel Wade. And why I say we're going to watch the story of Rachel Wade, this is going to be kind of like my coming out. And why I say it's my coming out is because I mentioned it at the top of the hour, at the top of the show. This particular case, I'm not going to say I knew everybody in the case because I didn't. I followed this case very closely because my significant other at the time went to school with this young lady, and our paths crossed in life. And so that's where I wanted to kind of dive into the story, because I was hanging off of every single one of these the cases. I watched every single day of the trial, and so I thought we could all enjoy it together. All right, so let's get into it. Give me 1 second. I just need to. There we go. Let me just make sure this is up. All right. So now that we have that up, All right, let me know if you guys can hear it on YouTube. Can you hear it on YouTube? Can you guys hear it on YouTube? I just want to make sure it's not blocking. Chat, can you hear it on YouTube? Y'all let me know. So Pinellas Park, Florida, USA, is probably about an hour and a half away from me. And so I was funny because I was in that vicinity yesterday, last night, where I went out. So Pinellas Park is roughly about 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Tampa, Florida. Isn't it funny how this guy says Javier? It's Javier, and he says Javier, Javier. Mm-hmm. No, my name is Xavier. It's different. Spanish version of my name is Javier with a J. Mine's with an X. Xavier. It's two different names. All right, so let's watch. First text is, now I know why you're not talking to me because you got her. Ooh. So yes, this was a love triangle. That's right. I don't like you no more. Why don't you go home? Oh. No, I'll wait for her to go home. Oh shit. So I'll let you figure this out. We got a lot of Spanish individuals in Florida. There was a time in Florida where you could do no wrong as a Spanish dude. You could have 1, 2, 5 girlfriends because it's like think about it as like that exotic look when for you guys, since you guys are from India or you're from all over the world, you may look at women from other countries as very, very attractive because you're not constantly seeing them. So it becomes more like a exotic look. And that was one of the times when in Florida, when it went through that span, and every girl that I could know was over here wanting a Spanish boyfriend because of the way they looked and their type of personality. Look, I don't know about y'all and what y'all know, but the number one mother freaking rule about phone calls and threatening people on the phone, don't do that shit. You literally are building a case against yourself. You're literally building a case against yourself. And why would you do that? Why would you build a case against yourself? You were literally putting yourself in harm's way about that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not excuse me. I'm not telling you. Oh, excuse me. I'm not telling y'all to go and do these kind of things, but what I'm saying here is, look, it ain't the smartest thing in the world to tell people that you're about to go murder them. You feel me? I might not be the smartest individual, but I know not to do that. I don't know what hang on, guys. Sorry. Hang on, guys. Apologies. I'm trying to make this more appealing for you guys as we watch this. Okay. I just want to make shit more appealing for you guys. Give me 1 second and you'll see what I mean, because you don't need to be seeing my damn big ass face. All right. Oh, that's probably not the good thing. See, this is why I don't like myself sometimes. Why the hell did I feel like I needed to change this like right now? Feel me? Why did I feel like I needed to change this right now? Okay. Tell me what y'all think about this view versus the other view. All right. If it doesn't work, but y'all get what I mean by like this. I feel like this is something you don't leave on a voicemail. Why would you leave this on a voicemail? And now she just rambling on the freaking mic. Hey, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I don't know for the ones who are watching this, MySpace, she said you're leaving it on MySpace. Now, I had a MySpace. Ruger, what are you confused about? But I low-key had a MySpace, and that used to be the fun time. You know how many people I pissed off when I had a MySpace? Because it's better than Facebook and Instagram. Why? Because you could put the profiles of your top people that you fuck with, and you can list them. So you could have like a top 4 or like a top 8 of like your best friends of the profiles you fuck with the most. And because of that, it pissed off a lot of freaking people. When you used to be able to click and drag people and be like, oh, I don't fuck with you like that no more. You're not in my top 8 of my MySpace page. That I wish they would bring back. Not to piss people off, but the customization that MySpace had, I think it came way before its time. Because now that we have it now, Facebook, Instagram, you can't do shit with it. But MySpace back then, you can change the background. You can put music on your page. You can customize it the way you felt like you wanted to customize it. MySpace was before its time. And I know it's showing my age, but MySpace was the shit. Wait, the date hasn't changed and she's still over here leaving more voicemails. I think she's having a psychotic break. And this was definitely a key part of her case that literally got the sentence, the verdict in which she got. Oh, and that was a big part of the case. Her big thing, and because this happened what, 15 plus years ago. Her biggest thing was she felt like it was self defense, but everything showed she was the aggressor. Ooh, yep, I remember this. This is why I be always afraid to be like in a love triangle. Look, ain't no poly relationship, ain't no side chick. You don't understand people's mental state enough to try and mess with people's emotions. And as soon as they tell you their emotions, I don't care if a dude turned around and said that was my girl, and if you keep talking to my girl, we about to have problems. Hey, look, take her. Ain't no woman in this world worthy enough for me to sacrifice my life or sacrifice my peace of mind. Take her. Look, take her. Because the main factors in my head is this. If another person feels like they got the right to say something to me in regards to the person that I'm seeing, then the person that I'm seeing is doing, and it might be a wrong way to look at it, but it's brought me peace this far. But if that person comes to me, there has to be something my significant other is doing to make they think that, oh, you have a chance. Come on now. Come on now. Now she's trying to play the innocent white girl. Told you. Damn. Premeditated. She getting. This is definitely one of the main reasons why she got what she got. The number one rule, chat: you don't talk to the police officers without a lawyer. You are not trained in interrogation and understanding what information you're allowed to give versus what information you're not allowed to give. Now she over here spinning the whole book of basically tattling on her goddamn self. If you ever encounter, now look at me, if you've ever encountered the police, and you might be a police looking at this, thank you for watching, don't talk unless you got a lawyer. And if you ain't got a lawyer, you better ask for a damn public defender. Because the one thing I will say, it's in the Miranda rights. Anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. Anything you say. So you know what that means? Shut the hell up. Because you could say one thing, and your intentions can say one thing, but if your words come off wrong, oh, you already caught. They're going to use that against you because they're going to think that was your first thought. Do I believe in our justice system? Fuck no. Is it bad to say that? Yeah. Do I believe our justice system was created to be fair? I would say yes. But the individuals within our justice system have their own bias. And the one thing about being a human, judging another human along with a group of individuals is what? Their bias versus their background, and if they can perceive the way you lived your life. So, I don't know. I think that's that saying that goes, I'd rather be carried by 6 than judged by 12. I think that's how it goes. I don't think that's how it goes. That sounds a little morbid. Oops. Oh, God. You just told on yourself. You literally just crushed your self-defense statement. Yes, Americans just do dumb things sometimes. Not sometimes. We do dumb shit a lot of the times. But back to what she just said. As soon as she said that she backed up, there goes your defense. There literally goes your excuse. You can't call self-defense if the other person was retreating. But that doesn't make sense. How is she backing up and punching you in your face? So you saw Rachel's mugshot, there is no bruises. So we got a problem in inconsistent of her statement. Now, I'll let you guys know. Rachel is the one that I met twice. I wouldn't see me. We've encountered in past, we've crossed paths. And this is what I told you. You see what I mean? And I love the way he put this two together. It's like, I'm not trying to kill somebody, but you have literally on voicemail. Now, who's the dumb bitch? Who the dumb bitch? Oh, shit. There's your self-defense, girl. Damn, she just threw the knife? So, chat, because I know a little bit, I've watched all the court proceedings while this was live, and she went to court early in 2012. I want to say 2012. She went to court. Um, in this case, reminder: when all of this altercation happened, these girls were in high school. It was like their senior year of high school. Look, this cop is like, I don't want to tell. Look. I don't even want to hear this shit no more. He like, I'm just gonna go. If y'all ever been in an interrogation room, it ain't fun. Ooh. So this is where she finds out for the first time what the fuck happened to Sarah. So there was so because she doesn't have no other injuries, this is what's telling the police that, oh, there couldn't have been a scruffle. If it was a scruffle and you said you was punching back at her, or even if she was punching at you, there would have been some kind of marks to indicate that she was in an altercation. But because there wasn't nothing, think about it. How can you say you were defending yourself when the person you were defending yourself from had no physical marks of an attack other than the 2 stab wounds? And there goes the excuses. And remember what I freaking told y'all. Remember what I told you. You always have a lawyer with you. Look at how he twists her words. She wanted it to end. How many ways can you think about it? What was the result of this case? And then you tell the cop and he plugs it in. You just want it to end, right? What would you say end is? Murder. Come on now. Come on now. And remember, she still doesn't know that Sarah died. This is where her story gets inconsistent. You know, I would say Rachel's smart in this case because the cop is baiting her to say, I wanted it all to end, which essentially just puts the premeditated murder and the fact that she murdered her on the table. But she's eluding the actual answering of that question because this is the second time he asked, you just wanted it all to be over. The one thing you have to be very careful with cops, they're very, very good. If they're good detectives, they're very, very good at twisting how they mean certain words so that you answer in a certain way, excuse me, in which you tell on yourself. It's a very, very common investigating tactic that they use to psychologically change how you are thinking their question is so that you answer it in a deliberate way that could potentially be used against you. That's why you don't say shit when you don't have a lawyer available. You see how that's inconsistent? I'm tired of being hurt and scared. But then he's gonna be like, you wanted to finish it all. You see where he's pulling her to? But I like the fact that she held her ground on this. Oh, you can't hear it on YouTube? This is where they dropped the bomb. This is, and she already knows she is some shit. Oh, that was a fucking slick one, yo. That was a slick one. That was a slick one, yo. How you turn around? Well, she's not gonna terrorize you no more because she did. She know her life over.
Rachel Wade was formally charged with second-degree murder. She was immediately booked into the Pinellas County Jail on a bond of $500,000. Rachel's trial began on July 20th, 2010. The prosecution blamed the hostile escalation of this love triangle as the motivating factor behind the murders of Sarah Ludman. They went on to present several occasions of which Rachel had threatened Sarah via social media, text messages, and voice messages. They also went on to present several witness statements that all seemed to counter Rachel's claims. Joshua Camacho, Janet Camacho, one unnamed friend, and Dustin Grimes were all witnesses who testified.
But you see, this was the one thing about this case that I didn't like. The whole entire witness stand was part of one family. And though it was, we'll just finish it.
Testified on behalf of the prosecution. This is their story. After stopping at the stop sign and having Sarah's friend Ashley advise her that Rachel is at Javier's house, Sarah continued on her way towards Javier's house. When she arrived, all three occupants of Sarah's van could see that Rachel, Javier, and Dustin were waiting on Javier's front lawn, near the front of Rachel's car. Sarah stopped the van slowly, approximately 10 feet away from Rachel's vehicle. Before being able to fully remove her keys from the ignition and exit through her door, Rachel had already crossed in front of Sarah's stopped van and walked all the way around to Sarah's door. As Sarah was sliding off her seat to step out, Rachel began swinging on her. When Janet noticed the fight break out, she quickly exited her side of the vehicle and takes off her sandal to attempt to knock the knife out of Rachel's hand. Before Janet could actually confront Rachel, she could hear Rachel laughing and yelling profanities about Sarah and Josh. Janet then began to swat at Rachel and started to pull her hair, until Rachel started to repeatedly yell, "I'm done." Once Janet began to retreat to the vehicle, she noticed her unnamed friend sitting by Sarah's body, laying on the road. Janet is then advised of the stabbing, and immediately freaks out and attacks Rachel again. Rachel, still holding the knife, does not fight back against Janet, so Janet retreats again. During testimony, Janet stated that Sarah had already begun foaming at the mouth by the time that she got to her.
Tell the jury what you saw.
Sarah was on the floor, stabbed, foaming.
All right, now you say on the floor, do you mean the road or do you mean on the floor of the car?
No, she was on the road.
Okay. Where was
She was with Sarah the whole time.
Now you mentioned at this point, Sarah's actually foaming at her mouth. Now you describe Sarah as one of the family, a close friend. I imagine you see something like that.
This is where I felt like she got railroaded for Rachel. Do I condone murder? No. But what my main thing I'm trying to say is, you have Camacho's brother and sister and the other friend who are all Sarah's close friend. And then you have Rachel. So, yes, their testimony is very important, but it becomes very, very one-sided. How do you have a fair trial when you have all these witnesses that are connected and feel like family against one individual? Yes, it's unfortunate that that's how it panned out, but come on, what jury is not going to make a verdict based off those circumstances? I look at it from both sides, or at least I try to. I have no skin in this game. I didn't know anybody well enough to even care. But I just look at it in the fairness of justice. It is 3 witnesses and Rachel's testimony. Come on now.
It's going to affect you, am I right?
Yes.
What do you do once you realize your close friend, part of your family, has been stabbed and is on the ground?
I approached Rachel again and told her that she has to, like, are you serious? You actually stabbed her? I approached her.
Well, tell me this. As you're approaching Rachel, are you yelling?
Yes.
As you yell to Rachel, are you serious? You stabbed her.
Objection, counsel testifying and leaving.
Thank you. As you're approaching Rachel and you yell to her, are you serious? You stabbed her. Tell the jury Rachel Wade's reaction to that comment.
She said she didn't care. She started laughing and turned around and was walking off to Javier's house.
She immediately called Joshua and the police. Following these moments, Rachel was witnessed laughing as she threw the murder weapon over Javier's fence. Shortly after, Rachel was arrested. Rachel's attorneys stuck to a self-defense claim and attempted to sway the jury by citing a stand your ground law. Her attorney, Jay Hebert, also centered the argument around multiple occasions in the past where Sarah and her friends would gang up on Rachel. He referenced an incident at Applebee's where Sarah knocked a tray of food out of Rachel's hands. He also referenced another incident where Sarah and her friends sang a song during a karaoke event while mocking Rachel and laughing at her. Despite the defense's attempts at painting Sarah Ludman as a bully and instigator whose size made her a major threat towards Rachel, the jury sided with the prosecution and ultimately found the evidence overwhelming against Rachel. On September 3rd, 2010, Rachel Wade was found guilty and sentenced to 27 years behind bars. She is currently housed at the Lowell Correctional Institution, located in Marion County, Florida.
Once she's behind bars, he hopes that his client can reach out to help others that she had wanted. Might do things like have a YouTube channel or go on Facebook and MySpace to reach out to, hopefully, she says, young people and their parents, and tell them to feel confident about themselves. Don't fight over somebody you love, but instead love yourself. To feel confident about themselves, don't fight over somebody you love, but instead love yourself.
I remember that so much. Oh, geez. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is so this is going to be a little longer. We're going to watch the interview that they just conducted a couple weeks ago. This just came out on Court TV last week. This is the interview with Rachel Wade 15 plus years after her conviction. I haven't watched it yet, so we may learn new details altogether.
Now your ass is mine, and I'm guaranteeing you I'm no murder you. I'm letting you know that now. Because you know what? Josh might have played me, but bitch, I'm gonna play your ass out too. Watch.
The case played out like a real-life version of Mean Girls.
She is
It definitely did play out like Mean Girls.
You're a fat bitch, and I'm going to kill you, I swear on my life. How do you account for that?
I don't. I was basically obsessed with the chase of it all.
Only this time, the rivalry and jealousy ended not in high school drama, but in murder.
Said it because I was upset, and truthfully, I wanted to scare.
Oh, I'm gonna show you psycho.
I never had the intent on actually harming.
And I'm guaranteeing you I'm no murder you.
Well, maybe that's something that, one could dismiss as angry teenage banter, but not after you actually kill her.
It's like, I'm going to tell you I'm going to kill her, and then you kill her, and now it's like, oh, all teenagers kind of say that. Well, you actually did it.
The next piece of information that you need to know is that she is dead.
Oh, geez, Louise. Hang on. I know what happened. Shit. I know what happened. Hold on. Told you this is the part where I shouldn't do some certain things. Especially in the middle of this. Did you at least hear it, Rudra? Okay, so if you can hear it, then I am going to fix this. Two seconds. I got it. 2 seconds. There it goes. All right. Let me know if it works now. I can't see it, so.
All this over. The next piece of information that you need to know is that she is dead.
Yeah, we just watched this, that she just found out that she's dead.
Over Josh.
I had a one-track mind.
Boys.
Yes, a boy. And at that point, I was just feuding with Sarah.
Two teenage girls fighting over one boy lead to one bleeding out on a suburban street in Florida.
You're in Pinellas Park. Okay, what happened? Rachel! She found her.
And the other, Rachel Wade, convicted of murder.
Rachel deserves a life sentence, Your Honor.
For 16 years, she's always maintained it was self-defense, not murder, despite evidence to the contrary.
There was
I
two
want to learn
sides
about
to
this
it.
interview.
I mean, I didn't go after her. I did what I could to avoid it.
Self-defense means you have no choice, right? But you had plenty.
I mean, you're right.
What did you do before you left your apartment?
I grabbed a knife.
It's not self-defense if you're out in the streets with a weapon.
That's big facts.
Now, would she finally come clean?
Do you accept that you murdered Sarah?
This is what I want to find
Imagine
out.
being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 4.
Hang on.
I'm back in Florida, a place where I've sat across from a son who murdered his parents, a husband who killed his wife, a serial killer who hunted hikers. This time to confront a young woman whose crime was driven by the dark intensity of teenage romance.
911, what's your emergency?
In the early morning of April 15, 2009, a 911 call came in. On the other end, a panicked voice struggling to explain what happened.
You're in Pinellas Park. Okay, what happened? Rachel! She found her. Okay, where's the body of the patient stabbed?
I swear to God, this is...
Right.
Someone has got to come. This girl on the ground, passed out. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know.
You said she's passed out now?
I don't know. She's like coming and going. Sarah, stay with us. Sarah.
A simmering feud between two teenage girls over a boy finally exploded when 19-year-old Rachel Wade stabbed 18-year-old Sarah Ludeman twice, the second blow piercing her heart.
As emotions flared, Rachel's arms remain crossed. She's accused of stabbing Pinellas Park student Sarah Ludeman to death. Both girls were engaged in a vicious internet battle over another teenager. Rachel Wade stuck to her story that she stabbed Sarah Ludeman in self-defense.
If she didn't stick to her story, it wouldn't have ever worked out. Because it's like, granted, it didn't pan out the way she thought it was going to pan out because she was found guilty and she's been serving 27 years. But they're aged 18 and 19. Yes, because 18 and 19 is still considered teen because it has teen at the end. So that's why it's considered teenagers.
Despite her conviction for murder a decade and a half ago, Rachel Wade has always claimed she stabbed Sarah Ludeman in self-defense.
I acted in self-defense because I got attacked.
She grabbed me by my hair and I remember flailing my arms.
A claim she bolstered over the years in legal appeals. Deep in the swampland of...
Right. 18 and 19 is still considered teenagers. What do you mean it's wild? Yes, they're adults and they can do a lot of things. Like 18 could get you into a lot of, it gives you the ability to do a lot of things like buy cigarettes, all of that. It's technically the age of adulthood in America, but because it still ends in teen, that's why they have it as teenager.
Central Florida at Lowell Correctional Institution.
But that's also why she was tried as an adult and not as a youth, because she was over 18.
Wade, now 35, says she's ready to open up about the crime. And I wonder if she'll finally take responsibility for murder.
It's been, 16 years since that fateful night? No doubt you're older and wiser now.
Yes.
We wanted to talk to you today.
So she has about 10 more years left in prison since she was sentenced to 27 years. But in Florida, I think 85% is all you have to serve. So she may be out in about 5 more years, 4 more years.
To try and understand the mindset and motivations behind your actions in this case. Why did you want to talk to us?
Honestly, because there's a lot of young girls out there that I think have been through similar situations, and luckily they may not have escalated to that, and I want to help prevent that.
I want you to help me understand.
She's trying to make money, like the one girl who from Louisiana, I forgot her name. The one girl who basically got out of prison early, and she started a whole YouTube career and a book career. I bet you that's why she want to be on court TV.
Teenage Rachel that got you in all this trouble. Help me get inside her head, okay? From the record, it sounds like life started off just fine for you, right? You had two hardworking, loving parents.
Yes.
Very supportive.
Yes.
Always have been. And it showed. In grade school, at least, you were regarded as a very bright, promising girl.
Yes.
The only criticism that I saw from your teachers in the record is that you were overly social.
I was extremely social, yes.
But in high school, Rachel's behavior started to go seriously sideways.
Now, teenage rebellion is common, but you really, based on the record, seem to have taken it to an extreme.
Level.
Yes.
Right?
She took teenage rebellious to another level. She out here killing people.
Is that fair?
Yes. My parents were very overbearing to me, which now I see they were looking out for my best interest. And I just went the opposite direction in every way I could.
And you were just defiant.
Yes.
Right? Do you know how many times your parents called the police?
No, I was a runaway countless times. I know that they were very concerned, so anytime I left the house without permission, they called. So I would say probably 30 or more.
30 or more times?
Yes.
You became a serial runaway?
Yes. Once I met a boy that was older and I just took a different direction. I didn't care about schoolwork anymore. I used to be very proud, or wanted to make my parents proud.
So another tidbit about her, with Rachel Wade, is that while she was underage, she was dating a lot of older men. And I guess this is how she was able to be. At the time when I mentioned earlier in the stream, we crossed paths. I didn't realize the age in which she was when we crossed paths. I was in college. Her dating older men in this situation is how it wasn't as if she was in my circle. It was how I so happened to be out and cross paths. And I didn't even realize, and I'll tell you this, I didn't even realize who she was when I was watching it until a buddy of mine who was like, hey, remember the party we were at here? Of course, I didn't put two and two together because I didn't know her name like that. But as soon as I saw her face, I was like, wait. And this is what kind of drew me into this case.
That kind of went out the window, and I had a one-track mind.
Boys?
Yes, a boy.
At 16, she started dating a 19-year-old young man. Her parents caught her having sex with him and called the police.
He was arrested because you were underage, right? And you still insisted on continuing to see him.
Yes.
And looking back, how do you understand that behavior?
Well, that wasn't the smartest thing.
I don't, because I really don't understand why I felt the need to be in that relationship.
Yeah.
Because it didn't do me any good.
After all, Rachel was a knockout. According to her friends, all the boys were after her. So why did she seem to always get stuck on the wrong...
But I didn't know her age. Leave me alone. I didn't know her age.
...wrong guys.
Your dad used the term fatal attraction.
Yes.
To characterize your early obsessive romances.
Yes.
Do you think that's fair characterization?
Yes, looking back, I do.
This whole turn away from your parents...
Wait, yo, daddy over here saying that you have fatal attraction? Like you would literally kill because of attractions? Or I guess it would mean like your attractions kill.
Parents and their rules put you at risk, right?
Yes.
You're staying out.
He said my major preference is white, Asian. Well, you're also from Asia, Rudra, so I could understand that. But being in Florida, we have a plethora of Caucasian or white women in Florida. So that's essentially what we have. and what we get exposed to. Fun fact, it's actually not a fun fact, but it's just what Florida is. I didn't see my first Asian, like, fully understand, like, who my first Asian was. And I'll say Southeast or Eastern Asian, not Indians. Because at my young youth, I didn't consider Indians Asians because I wasn't well-versed. I was, but when you typically hear Asian, you normally don't always put Indian in the Asian category. I always put Indian in their own category. But I didn't meet my first true Asian, like East Asian, Southeast Asian, until I moved to New York. And that was after college. So you got to realize that Florida wasn't as diverse as the rest of the United States.
All night, sleeping in cars or on couches, sometimes with people that you didn't or couldn't even recall their names.
Yes.
Oh, what was going on there?
Everywhere.
I think I just wanted to stay away. Once I got caught being with the older guy, my mother called the cops. And that was just the end of it for me. I didn't want to talk to them about it, but anything. I didn't think that they really understood.
Your folks took you to counseling,
Yes.
right? Were you diagnosed?
I believe they said that I was bipolar and manically depressed.
Were you treated for those conditions?
I was put on medication, and I probably stopped very shortly after. I didn't stick with it.
Is it possible, Rachel, that your mental health conditions, bipolar disorder, depression,
So here right now in this interview, no. Life in jail took a toll on her. But her at her teenage years, she didn't look like this. Her teenage years is what you have to take a look at.
put you in a state of mind where you couldn't act on obvious red flags?
Maybe, yeah.
Soon you left school.
Yes.
You said you lost interest after the boy you liked got kicked out. Did your parents protest
to each their
that decision?
They did. They were very upset.
A high school dropout, she was now living on her own and working at Applebee's. And of course, dating.
And then a pattern emerges of these passionate but volatile relationships. None more so than the small man with the big ego, Josh Camacho. Emphasis on the macho.
Yeah.
Spring
His small
2008.
man.
Now you.
The fact that he goes the small man but big ego, I'm dead. I couldn't even imagine what Josh Camacho hearing this. He's like, small man but big ego. I don't know how I would feel about that if somebody was low-key telling me that. Chat, tell me what you would feel if somebody who don't even know you is describing you as a small man but a big ego.
You've known him since childhood, but do you remember the moment that you reconnected as adults and fell for him?
Yes.
Can you take me back to that?
If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
when he first started trying to pursue me, I kind of laughed at it. I had no interest. I don't really know what sparked it. One night he kissed me and I just kind of went for it.
Do you think you became obsessed with him?
I think I became obsessed with the situation.
The situation was a love triangle. Josh Camacho had another girlfriend, Sarah Ludeman.
Really was just kind of oblivious in the beginning. I didn't believe he was cheating. And then when I started seeing the truth, I think I spiraled.
I told you to watch your back and not to chill with him. Now your ass is mine.
The chase between the two lovesick teens had just begun and would soon turn deadly.
Excuse me, sir, what's going on?
There's a stabbing, there's a fighting, there's a stabbing.
Someone was stabbed?
Yes, she's on the floor.
Who stabbed her?
It was spring of 2008. 19-year-old Rachel Wade was on the rebound from one bad relationship and about to start another with a teenager she'd known since childhood.
I want to get over the last guy, the older guy that I was with. So I just decided to go for it. And I'd known Josh my whole life, so I thought it was a safe space.
Josh Camacho was slight of build and stood only 5'5" tall.
Oh,
but he was every
small.
inch a player for sure. And you were all in,
Yes.
right? You posted, you were in love, and quote, he's all mine.
Yes.
You were
MySpace,
planting
y'all.
the flag
Yes.
on him. And of course, you weren't alone in this powerful attachment to Josh Camacho. Rachel knew that Josh, at his young age, already had a child with a girl named Erin. But after just a few months of dating, Rachel was scrolling on the social media platform MySpace and noticed a photo of Camacho with another girl at the beach, Sarah Ludeman. That set you off?
Yes. That was when I think I found out, or I realized that he was really seeing somebody else. And then when I started seeing the truth, I think I spiraled.
17-year-old Sarah Ludeman, a junior in high school, was driven.
How is
She
this
attended a
even
specialized-
legal, though? Like, Josh Camacho was already an adult, dating a junior in high school, yo. And that's, like, pedophile, bruh. I didn't know this. I did not know this.
School and hoped to be a veterinarian. But all that changed one summer day when Josh Camacho emerged from the back of the local Chick-fil-A where he worked, walked past Ludeman, and winked. That was it. She was smitten. Soon Josh would be dating both Sarah and Rachel. When you started seeing the truth, was your anger?
Not he walked out of the back of a Chick-fil-A. I'm not laughing at him because everybody has to work. But to walk out of the back of a Chick-fil-A, yo, like, I don't know.
Were directed at him or at Sarah?
It was directed at both. It didn't go very well for me when it was directed at him. It usually turned into a pretty bad fight.
Physical?
Sometimes. A lot of mental and emotional. And he would normally leave, and then I would usually go the other route.
What do you mean?
It does, Rudra, because in the state of Florida, 2-year separation is considered statutory rape. Even in certain circumstances, if they're 19 and the other one's 17, it can still be construed as statutory rape, which is illegal here. Because the one individual is still a minor.
I would argue with Sarah.
So the feud with Sarah starts on social media, right?
I don't know. It was just a constant rival. It consumed me to the point where I was tired of being harassed.
But you were harassing just as much.
I was, yes.
You're both doing your best to scare and humiliate each other.
Yes.
Right? And to secure your positions with Josh.
Yes.
I have to say, some of your messages to her seem really unhinged.
Yes.
Unhinged is a...
Sarah, seriously, answer your
Unhinged is a nice way of fucking seeing it.
phone. Don't be. You want to come through my neighborhood and be a psycho bitch, just like Aaron. With Josh's car, you're with me when you with his. Seriously, I'm letting you know now. You're either gonna get up or something of yours is. So watch the out or answer your phone. Stop being a bitch.
End of message.
How do you explain that?
And there was plenty of times that she came to my job harassing me, and I had to ask my manager to dismiss her because I was going to get in trouble. They made me spill beers on customers. They followed me home from work and rear-ended my roommate at the time's car. So all of that leading up, I think that my threats to her, I did intend to scare her, along with my, my rage or fit of rage at the moment.
In what will later become key evidence in the trial, Wade calls Luderman again and issues a death threat.
And that was where she screwed herself, I told y'all.
You're dumb enough to put a brand new picture of you and Josh at the beach on your MySpace. Seriously, I told you to watch your back and not chill with him. Now your ass is mine, and I'm guaranteeing you I'm gonna murder you. I'm letting you know that now, because you know what? Josh might have played me, but bitch, I'm gonna play your ass out too. Watch. You're a fat bitch, and I'm gonna kill you. I swear on my life.
Body shaming, threats of violence, even death. How do you account for that?
So I think I really just wanted to scare them. I wanted them to think that I would do something, which I never really had the intent to do, and that they would just stop.
The horse race for Josh's affections went on for months.
So I can attest to this. And have I been guilty of having like, not anger, but like having situations where myself and another individual are in a heated moment, and I've gotten into fights. Look, everybody I feel like should be in a fight in their lifetime. Don't you judge me. But it's character building. But what I will say is this. During that period of time, and still to this day, when you're in a heated battle, am I dismissing the fact that she did the crime? No. But the one thing that people fail to sometimes realize is like words in the mouth of teenagers don't always carry the weight of the word itself. So like, think about when we say, oh, that's bad. Bad can mean really good, or that's the shit. Doesn't mean it's bad, it means it's good. So when you're saying to someone, and I'm not making an excuse for her, but I'm just saying in these simple ways that I can see in a very heated moment that those words would come out. They don't age well for her, but those words can come out. When you're saying, I'm gonna beat your ass, I'm literally gonna drag your ass through the streets, I'm going to murder you, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to take your life. A lot of it sometimes, and this is just in my point of view, a lot of it can also mean that I'm going to murder you, meaning is I'm going to take your will to want to bother me or fuck with me again away. It doesn't mean I want to take away your life. I want to take whatever you think you have on me or this thing that fuels you away because I'm going to beat your ass so bad. But in the case of Rachel Wade really killed her. So her saying, I'm going to murder you, I swear on my life, didn't really age well. But I feel a lot of people have been guilty of that and the way that has sound. Because till to this day, we use murder not in the significance of the word of all end, but as a way or an adjective to really push home, hey, stop messing with me. If that makes sense to you guys.
And Josh seemed to enjoy it. One week he's with Rachel, the next Sarah. The two girls jockeying for position and taunting each other. March 2009, she's posting pictures of her with Josh in New York, so she's winning. You have to see these images pop up. It must have driven you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was upsetting because I believed him when he said that he wasn't seeing her, of course. And then
Wait, how the hell did Joshua Camacho get Sarah to New York and she's underage? If you ain't 18, you can't fly by yourself. Or is that not an unaccompanied minor? I don't know.
No, I would post and do the same exact thing in return.
By April, the tide of Josh seems to turn against Sarah. He's now ignoring her again at school. His treatment of her sounds abhorrent.
I didn't know he was mistreating her at the moment. I thought that they were together. And I think, to be honest, that I had started seeing somebody else or hanging out with other people.
So even though you were hanging out with other people, pursuing other love interests, you still couldn't detach from the Josh-Sarah dynamic?
I think she was still making phone calls or, doing things in assumption that we were still together, and I think that I still fed it, yes.
April 13th, you post on MySpace.
Rudra, this is a typical 2000s white girl. Blonde hair, blue eye. I know you say you're more attracted to Asians, but she's easy on the eyes at this age, in my opinion.
Loving my boo. I'm sure at the time you knew that she was going to see it and be upset, right?
Probably.
And no doubt she was. All this leads to April 14th, 2009, right?
Josh makes plans with you. Was that just out of the blue?
He called me and asked to stay the night at my house. I ended up asking him if he loved me, and he said, I don't know. I said, do you love her? He said, I don't know.
6:36.
He said, asked to stay the night at my house. I ended up asking him if he loved me, and he said, I don't know. I said, do you love her? He said, I don't know.
6:36 p.m. Sarah texts Josh complaining about his treatment of her. Josh acquiesces and invites Sarah over to his sister's house to hang out. Thrilled, Sarah updates her MySpace page with a post. 8:30 p.m. She borrows her phone.
How they got this whole timeline and it wasn't in the court? I don't remember this timeline.
Folks minivan and heads over to be with Josh at his sister's house. But first, she drives by your apartment and she yells, according to one of her friends, "Stay away from my man."
I didn't know what she called out. I know that there was a lot of screaming outside of my apartment that night.
You didn't take the switcheroo very well. I can understand that. I mean, you must have been livid. Can you admit that?
I remember I was very upset when I drove through, yes.
Over the course of that night, Rachel would go from upset to red-hot mad with deadly consequences.
Tell me, Rachel, tell me what happened that night.
Oh, God. I'm ready to hear it from her side.
Did you murder her mother to try and drive her back into your arms?
New episode next.
Shock is outrageous.
Central.
It was April.
Because this is like, you have the testimony, of course. She gave the testimony at court when she basically got on the stand. But when you're in the stand and you're fighting for your life, your view on things are a bit different than after being convicted and the story you tell thereafter. Because she's already exhausted all of her appeals. She has to sit for the full term. So I wonder how the story changes now that she has no hope and she has to give her full term in prison.
14/2009. The night sky was clear with a calm breeze, weather belying the violence about to unfold. Sarah Ludeman, Rachel Wade claims, had cruised by Rachel's apartment in her parents' minivan, screaming threats to stay away from Josh Camacho. The man, if you can call him that, the teenage girls were fighting over.
They are roasting his ass. The man, if you can call him that, they are roasting his little ass. They are roasting his 5-foot ass. Oh my God.
For support, Rachel called yet another boy she'd been dating, Javier LeBoy.
I called him and asked if I could go to his house because it was somewhere that I thought nobody would know where it was.
You went there seeking shelter?
I went there to wait for my friend because she was with her boyfriend, yes.
Right. Now, you've said that you were so afraid at that point, right?
Yes. They had told me they had intentions on jumping me, and there was numerous people with them, so yes, I was.
Afraid for your life?
I guess you could say so.
Before you leave your house, you grab a kitchen knife.
Yes.
Why?
I thought it would scare them because I knew that there was going to be numerous people with them. I knew it wouldn't just be Sarah by herself.
So were you more afraid or more angry?
I think it was both.
It strikes me that Wade wants to have it both ways in this interview.
Look at his face.
Sure, she had...
You see the way his face is right here? But I said it before. 9 times out of 10, if you grab a weapon prior to any altercation, you're automatically most likely going to get stamped with a premeditated murder. Or if you have a good lawyer, you can get it knocked out. But picking up a weapon prior to anything, especially if there's a significant amount of time in between, can 9 times out of 10 get you a premeditated murder. And because her lawyer was halfway decent, that's why she didn't get premeditated. Because if it was premeditated, she would have never walked out of prison.
Strikes me that Wade wants to have it both ways in this interview. Sure, she admits to the killing, but she's still also heavily hinting at being afraid for her life, a pretext for justifiable lethal force. And her memory is about to get wobbly too.
You end up at Javier's house. You told police you went there seeking safety, like safe harbor from these threats.
Yes.
Is that true?
I did.
And at the point you get there, are you more scared or more angry?
Well, it's different. So and here's the one thing that she fucked up on. For me, I would have just said to the court, I don't know how that knife got in my car. It could have been from a previous cookout or something, but it was already in my car. I'm not going to tell nobody I literally picked up the knife out of my kitchen, got into the car, and went No. But to answer your question, Rudra, what about if you have a self-defense knife? You're right. If you already have the knife on you, it's not necessarily premeditated murder because you didn't go out seeking it as a protection tool for an encounter. It is something, so like I have a pocket knife and I usually have one everywhere I go. I got one in my truck. A jury, a prosecutor couldn't say I premeditated it because I intentionally grabbed the knife. No, the knife was already on my person. The knife was already in my truck. I'm not telling you how to get away with murder. I'm not a lawyer. But what I'm stating is it's harder to prove that it was premeditated if everyone knows that that piece of equipment or knife or whatever is constantly in my vehicle or on my person.
I think I'm both. I don't know. I think the scared fueled the anger and
at the point from these threats.
Yes.
Is that true?
I did.
And at the point you get there, are you more scared or more angry?
I think I'm both. I don't know. I think the scared fueled the anger and vice versa.
A witness that was there with you and Javier later said that you were in a rage when you showed up. Because rage suggests much more anger than fear. Fury even. Can you admit to that?
I admit to ranting about the circumstances of the night.
Rage also suggests that you're not quite in your right mind.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Enraged, Rachel wanted to confirm her suspicions that Sarah was with Josh that night. So she left and drove to Josh's sister's house and spotted them together. Josh saw her too and added insult to injury.
He texts you, he says, go home. I don't like you no more.
I do remember him saying go home. I don't remember all of it.
Rachel drove back to Javier LeBoy's house red hot mad. A friend of LeBoy's, Dustin Grimes, was there as well.
And he hears you say, when you get back from confirming your suspicions that Josh is with Sarah, after canceling on you, I'm gonna kill that bitch.
I don't recall saying that at all. I had said that previous on a voicemail. I did not say that at that moment. And the reason that I left the house
Why would Dustin lie about that?
I don't know.
Is it possible that you were in some kind of red zone and you can't remember exactly what you said?
No, the only thing...
That's very specific, and it seems unlikely that he would make that up out of blue.
The only thing that I can say is he had a girlfriend that did not get along with me and was also friends with some of the girls that harassed me.
Well, can you see how damning that evidence is?
That is definitely damning.
12:33 a.m. Sarah calls you, right? She's in the car on speakerphone. Two witnesses in the van say they heard you threaten to, quote, stab her and her Mexican boyfriend.
No, I didn't say
deny that?
Yes, I did not say that.
So now 3 people have heard you make death threats, deadly threats.
You see what I mean by, like I was mentioning earlier? It's like everything she had, she didn't have a witness for herself. So it made it very difficult to trust what Rachel was saying in this case, because everything that other people heard, there were other witnesses to it. So it almost as if she railroaded herself by continually to say it, if indeed she did say it. Because there is a chance that everybody got together, even though the court says no, witnesses shouldn't be talking or coming into a conclusion of what they should say on the stand. That doesn't necessarily mean that it happens all the time. So I'm not her attorney, and I'm not trying to say she's innocent. But what I'm saying based off of the story, based off the case that I'm seeing is, she wasn't railroaded because she did do the murder, but it didn't paint her in a self-defense light because there were too many witnesses that were there when she threatened each individual or made threats or harm to the individual that eventually got killed.
Within the span of a short period of time, and you're denying all of that?
Did not say that at all.
I don't want to get bogged down.
He said, hey, but you know what? It's almost like that because think about it this way. Intention and perception beats intention. I can tell you one thing, but your perception of what I told you can be something completely different. So, for example, if I turned around and I said, I'm going to beat your ass with a baseball bat, but turned around and stabbed her, what would be the recollection of a witness? Yes, I told you I would harm you with a weapon. The weapon in which I killed you was with a knife. Could that not change how somebody's mind and recollection of something can also change? And I'm not saying that's the 100% truth, but I'm seeing it as how many times have we been told a story, we see a similar story, and we mix up the stories? You see? But this is part of like the psychology of trying to complete a memory, especially when things are going quickly.
I'm arguing with you, but a lot of what you're saying contradicts what you said back then and certainly contradicts the evidence in the record. You realize that?
I told you, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to match what she said on the stand. I said that earlier. Everything she's saying, she fought for her life on the stand, but she's also in this, but she's still painting that innocent route.
I mean, I'm not going to admit to saying something I don't remember because I've never admitted to saying any of that night.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you say you're here to try and help all the little girls out there that might go down this dark path.
And I am.
You are?
Yes.
But not if you're lying to me.
But I'm not lying to you. That night, I do not recall making any threats of any kind like that.
Sarah had called it a night and was about to drive home when she happens upon a friend who gave her what will be fateful intel. Rachel Wade was just blocks away in front of Javier Laboy's house, hanging out by her red car. Sarah and two friends sped off to confront her, unaware that Wade was armed with a knife. You were ready to fight her.
This was one of the main things that had me a little bit confused. The one reason why I was confused on this case was Sarah was the aggressor by going to Rachel. And the fact that she still didn't get the self-defense portion of it, or even a mistrial hung jury, all of them found her guilty. But even though Rachel was the aggressor and Sarah was the aggressor and went to Rachel, that's what I was very concerned about.
You were not trying to avoid the fight. You're out there in the streets with a knife, almost like you're laying in wait for the fight. Sure seems that way.
I don't recall. If I would have intended on really fighting her, I would have stopped at the house when she was outside and fought her.
See?
Where's the knife?
That was my argument. She had plenty of opportunity earlier in the night to bring the aggression to Sarah. But Rachel didn't. Sarah brought the fight to Rachel.
At this point?
It's on the hood of my car when she was outside and fought her.
Where's the knife at this point?
It's on the hood of my car.
On the hood of your car. Ready. That's not exactly a defensive position.
At around 12:30 a.m., Sarah and her friends arrived outside Laboy's house. The minivan screeched to a halt. Wade was ready. Within moments, Sarah is out of the car and face to face with her armed rival.
Let's talk about the fight. Witnesses agree that the whole thing lasted just a few seconds. Is that your recollection?
That I don't remember much of it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm also sorry I keep stopping it, but I'm curious. Remember in this interview just a few seconds ago, she said the knife was on the hood of her car. That's damning evidence that She sped up to you. You got into an altercation. The knife is on the hood of your car. So you had to have grabbed the knife in order to, you know what I mean? That's where it went left.
You told police you were flailing with both arms everywhere with the knife pointed out like this.
I remember walking towards her with the knife pointed out, and I remember being struck one time and my head being kind of pushed down, and then I started swinging.
One time? Okay. At the time you said you were hit more than one time.
I mean, I remember being hit once and my head being pushed down with the other two coming towards me.
Sarah was unarmed, but
her story's not matching up. Her story is not matching
with
up.
the other two coming towards me.
Sarah was unarmed, but Rachel was ready to strike back with deadly force. Her knife came down on Sarah twice. The second stab fatal.
The fatal stab wound was a forcible wound, right? It was 2.5 inches deep, pierced the pectoral muscle, all the fatty tissue, the fourth rib, in fact, the left lung, and into the heart. It had to be delivered in a downward striking motion with weight behind it. In fact, witnesses describe what they saw consistent with that. Do you admit that?
I don't recall a lot of that moment.
If you can't remember the stabbing, how can you be so sure about all the other details that you recount from that?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not sure about that you've said that I don't recall any of them.
Were you like in a blind rage? Is that why you can't remember?
Could have been.
after the stabbing, eyewitnesses saw Sarah stagger back to the minivan, where she used her last breath to call Josh. But all she could say is, "It hurts." Then she collapsed on the pavement. At 12:45 a.m., Sarah's friend...
I'm flabbergasted. Your last moment on this earth, and you've just been stabbed, and you call a 5'5" little man as you know you've just gotten stabbed. Why not call the police? Why not call an ambulance? You just been stabbed, and you're saying it hurts, and you collapsed, and you wasted your last call on somebody can't do shit. Oh.
Jaleisha Smith frantically called. At 12:45 a.m., Sarah's friend Jaleisha Smith frantically calls 911.
What happened? Rachel! She stabbed her. Okay, where the body is the patient stabbed? I swear to God, this is... Okay, where on the body is the patient stabbed? In the chest. Right. Someone has got to come. This girl is on the ground, passed out. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know. I understand that, okay? Listen, we do have some help on the way.
18-year-old Sarah Ludeman was bleeding to death, and Rachel Wade was about to answer for her actions.
We're out in the street holding it in a fight. Rachel, this is where you're going to have to help me out, because it's not defense to me when you go out into the street with the knife and confront them.
A self-defense means you have no choice, right? But you had plenty.
Ooh, ooh.
Sir, what's going on?
There's been a stabbing. There's a fight and there's a stabbing.
Someone was stabbed?
Yes. She's on the floor.
Who stabbed her?
The voice on the 911 call was Javier Laboy, Rachel Wade's friend and sometimes boyfriend. He was trying to stop Sarah's bleeding by applying pressure to the stab wound.
You gotta tell her.
Calm down, sir. They're on the way. The police are on the way. Just tell me what happened.
She pulled out a pocket knife. By the time we got to them, she was already stabbed. She was on the floor.
Okay, she's there. Everything's in the call. Stay on the line with me. Hold on. And where's the knife now, sir?
I have no idea.
Shortly there.
So Javier in this case is her friend, and I'll say sometimes boyfriend. Let's call it a situationship. He didn't help her in this case. Granted, he didn't hurt her either, but he didn't help.
Thereafter, the police arrived at the scene to find Sarah lying in the street, her breathing shallow. Rachel Wade, meanwhile, was sitting calmly on a bench smoking a cigarette. But first, Wade threw the murder weapon onto a neighbor's roof. Your accounts shifted a lot to...
Damn. If she threw the knife... Oh, Ray, what's up, my boy? If she threw the knife on the roof, that means she had the mental capacity and that she wasn't in a state of rage during the murder. She had the cognitive ability to understand that I needed to dispose of the weapon. So she threw it on the neighbor's roof. Interesting. That I wasn't aware of during the trial.
To a neighbor's roof. Your accounts shifted a lot to police, right? At first, at the scene, you...
So this is Rachel Wade versus the state of Florida. This was we're currently watching a triangle murder. I don't know what the fuck it's called. A girl, Rachel and Sarah were fighting over one guy. Rachel ended up killing Sarah with a knife over the fact that he was dating both of them. A love triangle. This was a case, and I'll give you a quick. This was a case in which I was fully invested in, and this is like one of the first cases I actually watched from beginning to end, because I had briefly we were in a same party. I was at a same party with Rachel Wade back in 2008. And so I became invested because a buddy of mine came out and was like, yo, remember the girl that was at this party? And I was like, yeah, well, she's on trial right now for murder. And so that's why I became very invested in it.
Told him you didn't know what happened to Sarah and you didn't mention the knife. You ditched the knife.
I did.
And omitted it
She
from
didn't
your
look like
first
this when I
police
met her.
statement.
She didn't look like this when I met her. So, yes.
Scene, you told him you didn't know what happened to Sarah and you didn't mention the knife. You ditched the knife.
I did.
And omitted it from your first police statements.
I did.
Why?
I think fear.
Fear of?
The outcome. I didn't really know what had actually happened.
You were hiding evidence.
Yes.
There are
least she
disturbing
admit
accounts of your manner after you killed Sarah. One of the witnesses recounted that you were smirking or smiling after the stabbing. One cop said she appeared calm and unconcerned as to the events taking place around her. Another officer said the entire time she never became upset, never cried, never asked how the person who was stabbed was. How do you account for that?
Oh,
I don't recall much of any of that. I remember sitting on the front porch. I remember having guns drawn at me.
At the time, you said that, well, I was in shock. They were noting your manner, your calm, unconcerned manner, with suspicion.
And this is one of the big things that, in my opinion, should not be held against anyone. I don't care who you are. Not everybody reacts to situations the same way. And so for cops to be like, oh, her behavior didn't match what is the right way after you've stabbed somebody, you're in fight or flight mode, and you've essentially just been in a fight. How are you supposed to act? In all honesty, I'm asking. And I'm not here again to build a case on the innocence of, because I don't believe she was innocent. She stabbed the girl. Was it self-defense? To me, I think she got the short end of the stick. I can see in many ways how it could have been self-defense, but I also see other ways in which she got the murder. To me, it was justice because it was met in the middle, and she only got 27 years. But The key thing that I don't appreciate and I don't approve is how you tell someone they're supposed to act during a situation. Psychology and someone's mental capacity doesn't dictate that they follow a book or a rule of thumb that you're supposed to act a certain way during certain situations. People grieve in different ways. People react to certain situations in different ways. So to say, oh, she never had a concern about the girl she stabbed, that doesn't necessarily mean she's not remorseful. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's a cold-blooded killer because she didn't ask. It could technically mean like, look, I'm dealing with what's in front of me right now with you looking at me, asking these questions. My concern is not with her. It sounds ruthless, but you can't tell somebody how their brain is supposed to work in a certain situation. So to say you didn't have any compassion because you didn't ask somebody. Exactly. Trauma is different on everybody. So to try to hold her foot to the fire and say you didn't have remorse because you were smoking a cigarette at a bench when the cops showed up. She just mentioned the cops drew guns on her. What do you think that's going to do to someone?
Meanwhile, Sarah was actually in a physical suspicion. They were noted. Meanwhile, Sarah was actually in a physical state of shock. Right? She had lost half the blood in her body.
Under interrogation.
But that, I feel like sometimes you look at these reporters and they kind of rage bait. Exactly, Ray. You smoking that cigarette like, bitch, I need to calm my motherfucking nerves. What does a cigarette do? Calm your nerves. It's literally 2 and 2. But I also feel like this reporter is also rage baiting because of the way he's putting certain things. Like, pay attention.
Meanwhile, Sarah was actually in a physical state of shock.
So because he couldn't get an emotional out of her because during that, he ties Sarah to the question because we knew Sarah's in a bit of shock because what does your body do when you're losing blood? It goes into preserving mode and you're in shock. Literally, your body's in shock because it's in triage mode. Like, that's a dick question. I mean, a dick statement.
Right, she had lost half the blood in her body.
Under interrogation by homicide detectives just after the stabbing, Rachel claims she was only defending herself.
She just started screaming at me and she laughed at me and said I wasn't going to do anything, and then she realized that I had a knife and she kind of backed up and then she started swinging on me anyways, and I just coming around.
Where were you holding the knife at the time?
I just had it out to the side, and then I saw Janet coming at me and I saw the other girl come around in the back end of the car, and they were all screaming at me.
At one point, you told police all 3 women were chasing you around your car, which doesn't match any of the evidence.
I don't know why I said they were chasing me around my car. They did run up to my car, all 3 of them at one time.
Some of the witnesses say that they didn't all get out together. Some say they did, even though you made it sound like you were basically fending off Sarah and Janet at the same time. All of the witnesses say that no one touched you until after you fought and stabbed Sarah. Is that true?
I don't recall.
But here is where I felt like this case went to shit. You had three different instances of what showed. And I felt like the defense lawyer fucked up on this. The reason why I felt like the defense lawyer fucked up on this is because how do you choose what actually happened if all the stories were different? He literally just mentioned there were stories of Rachel's version, they chasing her around the car. She just said, I lied. I don't know why I said that, but they all 3 came out the car together. Then there was another story of it was only Sarah who got out of the car. Then it was another story from another witness that said they all got out of the car. You see what my problem is there? You have so many stories, but yet you were convicted on non-self-defense, but if the story of all three of them coming out of the car, bitch, you better believe I'm about to go ahead and protect myself.
Witnesses say that they didn't all get out.
At one time. They were chasing me around.
At one point, you told police all three women were chasing you around your car.
That's one.
Which doesn't match any of the evidence.
I don't know why I said they were chasing me around my car. They did run up to my car, all three of them at one time.
Some of the witnesses say that they didn't all get out together. Some say they did.
Some say they did. There's so many he say, she say. Hearsay should have been a key thing in this court.
You made it sound like you were basically fending off Sarah and Janet at the same time. All of the witnesses say that no one touched you until after you fought and stabbed.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, shit. That's a key one. That just threw my whole argument out the fucking window. Y'all.
To say that no one touched you until after. All of the witnesses say that no one touched you until after you fought and stabbed Sarah. Is that true?
So that says the story was it was a one-on-one between Rachel and Sarah. Based off of all the witnesses, she stabbed Sarah. Rachel stabbed Sarah, and that's when everybody came in.
I don't recall anybody but Sarah hitting me initially, yes.
And that's where her story doesn't make sense. How are you fearful for getting jumped if only you were one-on-one to begin with and you had the knife in your hand?
The next piece of information that you need to know is that she is dead.
Oh my God.
Okay, she died as a result of these stab wounds that she had at Northside Hospital.
Detectives deliver the devastating news of Sarah's death, then dismantle Wade's self-defense claims.
You're 19.
See, I say it fucking again, and I know if I've said it till my face is blue. You don't talk to detectives or anybody or interrogations unless you have a freaking lawyer. Any words that you say in an interrogation will, or at any point of your arrest, this is the point of a Miranda right. This is why it's read to you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Shut the hell up. Like dead ass. Shut up.
You have to know that holding a knife in your hand, whether you intended to or not.
Sarah's death, then dismantle Wade's self-defense claims.
You're 19. You have to know that holding a knife in your hand, whether you intended to or not, if you stab somebody, the risk of that is the knife is a deadly weapon. You know that people die from stab wounds. So if you're holding...
And this is where it got to the point. It's like, these are trained detectives, and most detectives take psychology classes. She is at a point right now where she is hysterical. Any good person would tell this girl, do not talk after this. You've already said way too much. Now that she's hysterical, it is like blood in the water for a detective. You're not in the right mind of thinking. You're literally going to say whatever you have to say to preserve yourself, but that's how they also catch you in a lie.
Knife during a fight, the chance of that happening obviously increases dramatically. Rachel, this is where you're going to have to help me out, because it's not defense to me when you go out into the street with the knife and confront them.
But the problem is, the detective didn't know this yet, but the problem is, Rachel didn't confront them. Rachel didn't confront them. Sarah ended up going to the house of Javier to confront them.
The homicide detective explained it to you in that interrogation. Self-defense means you have no choice, right? But you had plenty. You could have stayed home and called the police. You could have gone to your parents and called the police. You could have taken shelter inside Javier's home and called the police. You could have just gone home when Josh said, go home. How do you account for that?
I mean, you're right. I could have done any of those things. Most importantly, I could have called my parents. Would have been a safe place.
This is why it looks more like fury than fear.
It turns out Wade's blind rage had driven her to a knife attack once before.
Now, this wasn't the first time you were violent with a knife. What about in November of 2005? Didn't you attack your mother?
I was just
Throw a kitchen knife at her?
to cut myself, and she tried to stop me.
You
and
threw
I
a
threw the knife and went in the bathroom.
Well, first you assaulted her physically.
I don't remember. I just remember throwing the knife when she came after me to take it from me.
It's in the police report. You dug your fingers into her arms, you ran to the kitchen, you grabbed a knife, and you threw
This wasn't in the court case.
it at her. Thank God the blade didn't strike her abdomen. But is that another example of like you going into the red zone?
Yes.
Do you think that is part of your mental makeup or condition?
Possibly.
Do you know the term covet? The covet? That's when you want something so desperately that you can't have or that someone else has. And it occupies your thoughts every day until it narrows your focus.
It becomes an obsession.
And then it starts to drive your choices.
Addiction.
And behavior. Does that ring true at all for you?
I think so. Yeah. Looking back, that could definitely.
Did you kill Sarah out of your covetous desire to possess what she had with Josh?
I can't say that because I didn't have the intent to kill Sarah.
The crime leaves Sarah's father, Charlie Ludeman, heartbroken, looking for answers and seeking cold comfort in calls to his dead daughter's cell phone.
Yeah, Sarah, Daddy. You know you're not with us no more.
Oh, that's fucked up. So now they're playing her dad's voicemail to her daughter, even though he knows his daughter's dead. Oh, that is fucked up.
I'm hoping somebody's listening.
Comfort in calls to his dead daughter's cell phone.
Yeah, Sarah, Daddy. You know you're not with us no more. I'm hoping somebody's listening to this phone. If you are, could you call me? I know it's probably on your screen. My daughter was killed last night. I just want a little closure.
End of message.
Would Sarah's parents and friends finally get the closure and answers they need? During the tense trial, Rachel Wade will try her best to avoid responsibility.
I acted in self-defense because I got attacked.
Yes.
Did you murder her mother? And Pacific.
Battling.
Teacher civil.
State, you may proceed with your opening statement.
On July 21st of 2010, at the Pinellas County Courthouse in Clearwater, Florida, Rachel Wade's murder trial began. Wade pleaded not guilty. This is Florida, after all, where the stand your ground law allows for lethal force in cases of self-defense.
So there's been many cases of stand your ground law. One of the biggest ones in the country that we had was the Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman case. That was probably one of the biggest stand your ground law court cases that has happened in the history of stand your ground. It didn't go the way that a lot of people wanted it to go. We thought it was racial. A lot of people thought it was racially motivated, but I do believe in stand your ground law in Florida, and I feel that stand your ground essentially, and I'll repeat what it means again. I'll let him repeat again what it means.
State, you may proceed with your opening statement.
On July 21st of 2000, the trial began. Ground law allows for not guilty. This is Florida, after all, where the stand your ground law allows for lethal force in cases of self-defense. Wade's attorney.
So to expand on the stand your ground law is, in certain situations, if you're not the aggressor and someone's being the aggressor and you're fearful for your life and you have no other options but to stand and use lethal force, there are many cases in Florida in which you will walk out of that courtroom as not guilty because the jury felt you had no other option but to take that individual's life because the fear of your life. Now, for me, I feel like there are some tidbits in there that I feel, yes, it is up to a jury to decide the emotional state of both parties during a stand your ground. First needs to be their intent of the aggressor. Is that aggressor looking to take your life? If you feel, and that's the big caveat here, there's no way with conclusive evidence to dictate if somebody actually feared for their life, because you don't know their feeling in that moment. And same way, you don't know the intention of the aggressors, the aggressive party during that time. Now, it really depends on the certain situation. If the aggressor has a gun, then you already know that's deadly force. And if the aggressor has a gun and the person fearful for their life has one and shoots them, that's typically a clear-cut case. Where it gets gray is if the intention of the aggressor, a weapon is not present, and the person fearful for their lives uses a weapon. That is where things get kind of gray.
Tried to use just that, lethal force in cases of self-defense. Wade's attorney tried to use just that.
This case is about self-defense. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. An individual has a right to stand their ground and defend themselves. They have no duty to retreat, and Rachel Wade had the right to defend herself that night.
I'm gonna murder you.
But
That's
prosecutors had the benefit of Wade's own incriminating words.
That's what hurt her.
But prosecutors had the benefit of Wade's own incriminating words.
Guaranteeing you, I'm no murder you.
That is what Rachel Wade told Sarah Ludeman 7.5 months before she took a knife and stabbed her right through the heart.
Many of those there that night testified that Rachel was furious and made her plans known.
At some point in the vehicle, while you were in the vehicle, did you overhear a conversation?
A phone conversation?
Yes.
Yes. I heard a girl's voice on Sarah's phone, and it said, "I'm gonna stab you and your Mexican boyfriend."
Okay. Could you clearly hear the conversation?
Yes.
Voice?
Tell the jury exactly what you heard her say.
She said, "I'm gonna stab you and your Mexican boyfriend."
At some point in time, did she make a statement that she was going to kill him?
Yes.
Okay. What was the statement that she made?
I'm gonna kill that bitch.
So, several months prior, you threatened her life. Within hours, or maybe even minutes, of the confrontation, the physical confrontation, you're heard by 3 people, 2 different incidents threatening her life. But you deny that now.
I did not say that night.
You did not make either of those death threats?
I did not make those threats that night.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
That's tough. Because remember what I mentioned earlier about having all of these witnesses on the phone and you have nothing. I mean, technically, they could probably go to the NSA and get the information that they want. But the fact that they had nothing in this case, that makes it difficult.
Because you did have some memory lapses that night.
Yes.
Right?
But I know that I didn't. I barely even had a conversation with her that night.
The evidence of murder piled up in the courtroom. Witness after witness sided against Rachel, including Janet Camacho, Josh's sister, recounting how Rachel approached Sarah on the offensive with a weapon.
I see Rachel come up around her car with a knife in her hand.
Around the front of her car?
Yeah.
Did she travel the entire distance from driver's side of the car to passenger side?
Like from where she was at, from that side, came around in front of Sarah's car.
The defense would argue that Janet Camacho had an axe to grind, but witness Dustin Grimes was hard to impeach, an Army soldier who by the time the trial started was serving overseas, gave his testimony by video.
As the van is put in the park, the three girls get out of the van at the same time. At that time, Rachel was already making her way towards Sarah, toward the driver's side of the vehicle.
Oh, shit.
The most nonpartisan witness said he saw you move from your car to engage Sarah just as she had gotten out of the driver's side of the van. And the forensic reports confirm that, estimating that you must have crossed about 12 feet to get to her. Does that
I
ring?
don't recall. I remember them saying that they pulled up directly in front of my car and when they all jumped out at one time.
In fact, even the judge said at the sentencing, the testimony of every single witness was that the defendant went towards the victim.
So it changes it. So it makes me also look freaking crazy because I don't remember this. It's been 10 years. But now that you're getting this, it's like it almost flips because Rachel walked towards the door of Sarah. She is now flipped it to becoming the aggressor rather than Sarah, who drove to the house as the aggressor. You see what I'm saying? This is why when you look at stand your ground law, it's so finicky. It is absolutely finicky. It's not a black and white law.
You agree with that?
I guess.
Defense, please call your first witness.
Judge, we would call Javier Laboy. Only Rachel's former boyfriend, Javier Laboy, offered a token defense at trial.
When Sarah got out of the vehicle, would you tell this jury, in your opinion, based on the observation, who was the aggressor in that situation?
Sarah was.
Will you tell this jury who was the one to throw the first punch?
Sarah was.
Finally, in a risky move, Rachel Wade took the stand.
I began to swing my arms back in retaliation.
To defend yourself?
Yes.
But her defense fell apart under withering cross-examination.
You said that you couldn't even remember the point that you stabbed her. I don't remember physically stabbing her. You remember everything else. You remember what happened before. You remember all the threats, right? Yes. You remember everything that happened afterwards, right? And Janet coming at you, right? Yes. You just don't remember that. I don't. So how?
And you know the thing that they're just doing their job, but any good attorney, though it's like common sense, if you've ever been in a fight, you know your rage is at an all-time high. And if it's at an all-time high or like at a high point, things go so fast that it can sometimes block your memory, or it goes so fast that your brain isn't receiving the rest of your body's actions. So to actually recall it is very difficult at times. And that's why sometimes they got to bring hypnotists and psychologists to kind of unlock those things that happened when our body locks them in because it's in a state of rage. In this case, it is perfectly understandable. And this is all I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anybody that does that, but I'm just saying. Common sense could tell you if you've ever been in a fight or an altercation, like a massive argument where your blood is boiling, you may say things that you don't necessarily comprehend. It becomes more of a reaction than a thoughtful action. And that's why in this case, I look at it as like, yes, you can remember everything leading up to it, but once you're engaged in that moment, all hell breaks loose. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you could remember everything.
How would you know that you acted in? Yes. You remember everything that happened afterwards, right? And Janet coming at you, right? Yes. You just don't remember that. I don't.
So how would you know that you acted in self-defense if you don't remember that?
I just remember swinging my arms. I don't physically remember stabbing her.
You told her you were going to murder her, correct?
Yes.
You said Sarah had told you the same things.
Yes.
You're the only one that actually followed through on your promise. Isn't that true?
Yes.
In the end, the jury took only 2 hours to convict you.
That was fast.
The defendant is guilty of murder in the second degree as charged. So say we all.
They could have opted for manslaughter, but they didn't. They chose second-degree murder. Right? A self-defense acquittal doesn't sound like it was even on their radar. Do you now understand why?
Yes.
How would you explain it?
I didn't hide from it. I didn't call the cops. Everything leading up to it looked damaging.
On some level, you did feel an existential threat from Sarah. Not physically, but really, I guess, more in terms of your ego and the way you sort of organized your world. Could it be that that night, when he clearly chose Sarah over you, right, that your ego was too fragile to bear it, and so you acted to annihilate the threat? Sarah?
Possibly, I don't know.
Our 1-hour interview was about to end, but there was one final question to drive at, the most important one. Rachel Wade can't have it both ways. Would she still insist, as she has for the last 16 years, that the killing was in self-defense? Or was it murder?
I think she's going to say it was self-defense.
You got 27 years.
Yes.
I honestly feel, chat, what you think? I honestly feel she's going to say it was self-defense. She's pled self-defense throughout this whole episode.
Right. Could have gotten life.
Yes.
Have you accepted your sentence now?
I have.
That wasn't always the case.
No, in the beginning I rebelled. I was very upset.
You filed appeals.
Yes.
They were denied. You did a fair amount of blame shifting over time.
Yes.
Right? You realize that?
Yes.
Blame the victim, putting you in this position. Blame Josh. You blamed the police at one point. You said they never do anything. You even blamed your own attorney in motions for ineffective counsel.
Yes.
You said at the time you were truly remorseful. Is that true?
Yes. I think once it all sank in. Sorry.
It's okay.
I think once it all sank in reality hit that I killed somebody. Yes.
Ask the freaking question.
Remorse requires that you accept responsibility for the wrong that you did, murdering Sarah.
Yes.
Do you accept that you murdered Sarah?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
In one word, for the first time, Wade issues a long-delayed confession.
She said, yes, she murdered her.
At the sentencing hearing, Sarah's father
Oh, shit. I would have thought she would have said it was self-defense, but she said she murdered her. But I can't even say it because she said it because I was going to be like, could it have been because she's already been beaten down and she's already pretty much at the end of her sentencing, almost, that you've served it already. You're walking out of prison, if she does walk out of prison, as labeled a felon murderer. Right?
Charlie Ludeman, who has since passed away, would give an emotional impact.
So I seem recap to everyone just joining. This is a murder case that happened in Florida about 16 years ago. This was essentially Sarah Ludeman versus Rachel Wade. I followed this very closely during the original trial. The reason I followed it closely is because I had a brief encounter with Rachel Wade at a house party while we were in Florida. I don't know her from Adam and Eve. I didn't know anything of her. It was just a brief encounter. One of my friends back in 2010, 11, was telling me, hey, turn on Court TV, turn on this case. This is the girl we ran into at that house party when we were in Tarpon Springs. So I was just basically, they brought out new footage of meeting with her 16 years later on court TV to see where her mind is after this case. And we're just reacting to it.
That statement bringing the courtroom.
I'm still shocked.
At the sentencing hearing, Sarah's father, Charlie Ludeman, who has since passed away, would give an emotional impact statement, bringing the courtroom to tears. It was a fitting tribute to a young woman taken too soon for no good reason.
Hold on. And see, I can't say it was for no good reason. And I don't like how they put that in there. How can I say? I feel like in the way this was going, and I'll explain later.
A child was stabbed to death by Rachel Wade. She was only 18 years old. I will never hold her. I will never see her get married. Never hear her laugh at my dumb jokes. Never drive around with me in a cab like she did when she was a little girl. The special way only a father and daughter could relate and bond. I will only be able to hear her voice by calling her phone and hear her say, "Hey, it's Sarah. Leave me a message and I'll call you back." Why? Because Rachel chose to bring a knife. She wouldn't fight fair.
All right, real quick. To me, I don't think it's fair to put all the blame on Rachel. It goes without saying. There is no fairness in a fight. There isn't. It's life or death. It's life or death when you're in a fight. Is the intention for death? Absolutely not. Not always. But to say that Sarah was not complicit in this, I think that's very, very, what's the word I want to use? It's fucked up. Do I blame Sarah for dying? No. But it wasn't like her hands were clean of the situation. It was antagonized on both sides. So my thing is also, if Sarah would have never drove to Javier's house, would have Sarah had gotten stabbed? Would Rachel have eventually went to Sarah and did do the stabbing? We will never know. And that's where I'm like, look, justice was done. I agree. But to say that only one party is at fault, I think that's just wrong. I think that is very, very fucked up to say. She's serving her time, but I don't believe it was just on her. It takes two people in this case for one to die. Sarah unfortunately passed away by decisions she made. Rachel served 27 years in prison by decisions she made. If both parties would have made different decisions that night, this would have never been a case. So to say this was solely on Rachel, it wasn't as if Sarah was in her bed sleeping tidy as a good girl who basically at all turns didn't help instigate and fuel this. It wasn't as if Rachel went to Sarah's home, stabbed her in her sleep, where Sarah didn't see this coming. Rachel and Sarah got into a fight. That is pure blank. Two parties got into a fight. Yes. One party brought a knife to the fight. Do I say that's fair? No, because it's not the 1980s where it's not 1980s, but the 1800s where they're having a freaking sword fight. But you also have to be aware when you get into an altercation, you don't know what another individual have planned or what another individual have point blank on their person. It's like if if I was a stupid individual who jumps out of my truck, races to a car, and starts trying to open it, I don't have a gun, but they shot me. Who was the aggressor? Who was the one that first got out of the car? You see what I'm saying? That if that person was different, yes. So now let's give another scenario and then we wrap it up. If it was a road rage, because there's another case of a road rage where someone got shot at, and both parties are going back and forth, escalating, and we both get out of the car and we start to jibber jab, and we're both like at tense moments, and a fight ensues. Isn't that on both parties? If we both get into a fight or an altercation? Were there not steps taken to lead to that point? I believe so. But this is also probably why I won't be an attorney, or you won't see me argue in anybody's case, because I look at it as both sides. If it got to that point, then both are to blame. But one person paid the ultimate price of losing their life, and it sucks. And I hope Sarah is resting in peace in regards to this, or resting in paradise. And the one thing about that episode that I will be honest about, what the hell did the kids learn? The point of that episode was for her to help people who's in that same situation, or maybe to help learn from her situation. It was a repeat of her case. And the only thing that they got at the end of it was her confessing that she murdered Sarah, and not it was self-defense. So, I don't know. Either way, I appreciate you guys watching this interview with a killer and the case. Thank God I wasn't part of it, but the case of Rachel Wade versus Florida and the death of Sarah Luderman. All right. I also opened up my Discords, guys. You guys, if you have any reactions you want me to react to before we conclude our stream for today, go ahead and drop some in the Discord, in the Discord channel. Let me see if we have anything in there. I got anime recommendations, clips and VODs, videos to react to. We haven't had a video to react to in over a month, so I have a couple others. Next week, I'll give you a tidbit. Next week, we are going to, I'm going to add another basic murder case or court case. I want to add these to our like Sundays. Also, for Wasim or for Ray, I'm most likely going to try doing I'm going to try to do our live in the evening next week rather than in the morning. I want to see if that will garnish us more people, more viewers on a Sunday, because I figure most people already partied Saturday night, so they're getting up late Sunday. So we're going to do next week's stream Sunday at night. It'll probably be more around 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern. That will most likely be a little bit shorter as I have to wake up early for Monday. So it may start around 7 p.m. and go for about 4 hours, stop at like 11. And then we'll go from there. Outside of that, let's see what we have here. Let's see. Next week, it already came in as a recommendation. We're going to do the murder of Junko Furuta. I think everybody have seen this. I think a lot of people have seen this story. I've seen it before, as far as I know a little bit about the case. but it's been a few years since I've actually watched it. So we're gonna watch that next. Watch that next week. The murder of Junko Furuta out of Japan. So make sure y'all come ready to put that together. All right. Let's see as we transition. I have a couple other stuff that I want to chat about. Give me 1 second as I get my life in order. You know what I'm debating is if I'm what I'm thinking of doing is also doing an anime reaction while we're live on Sundays, kind of like how I do for Wednesdays, but it may be other anime. I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure out other ways to kind of boost up what we do on the channel. So if you have any ideas, by all means, put that up for me. And so I'd love to see how it pans out. All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm looking at. It's always funny how these it's always funny how it's like I get done watching one of these murder mysteries and then all of a sudden it starts giving me more recommendations and I'm like, ooh, this one looks good. Ooh, I should do this one. Ooh, do this one. And I'm like, all right, let me do this afterwards because now I'm over here saving videos while I'm supposed to be doing something else. Gotta love it. All right, so I need to get to playlist. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Oh, I didn't save it. All right. Then what I'm going to do is let's do a reaction to all right, let's do all right, I'm trying to find. You know what I wish they would have did? So let's get ready to do reactions to the lyrics and songs of K-pop Demon Hunter. Since, you know, that was the one thing y'all asked me to do and I never did it. So we're going to put them all together and react to them. Since I promised you guys it, but I never did it. But I just need to make sure I have all of them. I wish there was like a video, like one continuous music video for all of them. So that I don't have to like jump through each one. All right. So let's go to the first one. All right. So I'm late to it, but today we are going to be reacting to K-pop Demon Hunters music videos since it's been asked and asked and asked. And I was just like, okay, I got time today. Let's do it. And I'll figure out later how we're going to put it on YouTube. Because, you know, YouTube don't like copyright issues. But enough of my riffraff. Let's get our K-pop Demon Hunter on. So, realizing that Koreans are starting to rap really well. though it's like Korean and English, but their improvement in the rap game that they're adding to their K-pop opens up a whole different dimension to what K-pop can truly be. Because, like, I honestly I grew up in the era of boy bands in like the early 1990s. Now I feel like K-pop and J-pop, like you just said, Ray, are grasping this rap side of it without going to the dangerous side, but keeping it in a pop manner. And low-key, I really do like it.
Okay, let's do this. Yeah, something about when you come from the ground that's so humble and high.
So, like, look at her lyrics, and I love it.
Okay, let's do this. Yeah, something about when you come from the ground that's so
something about when you come from the crown that's so humbling. No, the hell it's not. Something about coming from the crown is so humbling. No, you're usually not humble when you come from the crown. But we'll continue. But then they transition to Korean to make it for both sides of the party. And I think that's what I like about the inclusiveness of it. And I feel like the delivery of it with this anime, K-pop anime, was great because now I hope it helps influence the new generation to be eccentric, to be unique, to be whatever you want to be, that there isn't a limitation. I know think about it in every single generation that we have. They're always in school, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? We always were forced to be inside of a box. Really think about it. Classrooms, I know you probably heard it before, but classrooms are literally created to teach obedience. You must follow rules. You can't step outside the lines. You must draw inside the lines. Literally in kindergarten, they're teaching you to color inside the lines. But the world only flourishes when you can think outside the box to create something new. So to really bring in this kind of music that has blown up in the youth world, it's very catchy to them. But once they start understanding the verses, I honestly believe there should be more music like this influencing our younger ones to look outside of the box, look outside of the norms. Look what it's done with streaming and creator. My old ass is in front of you guys streaming right now. But I look at it as like, speak to the youth in the way the youth can understand it and see where we go. You hear what he says? I'm keeping you in check. I'm keeping you obsessed. Think about modern day today. How many of our children are obsessed with Roblox? What is going on with Roblox right now? It is in a massive lawsuit because of the amount of pedophiles that were on Roblox that were talking to children. Think of like streamers. Yes, I'm guilty of it because I'm streaming. But how much we put into streamers and how much we put into content creators as like the word of God, because it's our new one. These becomes our idol. We become entrapped into every word that they say. And like you said, even if with like musicians, we love them so much that we hang on every single word. Think how bad it is when you think of like Taylor Swift or Beyonce. People literally spend their life savings to go to their concert. People literally live their life by the instructions of their songs. I'm the only one right now. I will love you more when it all burns down. And it's like, I will love you more than when it all burns down. Like, I'll love you more when it burns down. Think of that in a psychological way. When your life is burning down, what do you usually flock to? Your idol. Because that's what gives you like that safe haven, right? Or am I out of pocket? If I'm out of pocket, let me know. But it's fitting because they're demons and they're trying to entrap people's soul. Your idol, 1 and 1 equals 2. The power. Just said it. You're locked in and you can't even look away. We're, like you mentioned, Ray, we're in a chokehold. Literally. And I feel like if we're going to have our youth and everybody in this chokehold, I hope we're being genuine humans about it and not guiding people down the wrong path. And real quick off topic, this is also why it's a pet peeve of mine when YouTube allows some of these prank videos that you're really disrupting other people's lives for the pure entertainment and the psychoticness of your ways to go and prank individuals and make someone else's day miserable for your entertainment. That's one of my biggest freaking pet peeves. I don't play games with pranksters. Don't come and try to prank me because I'm gonna put paws on you. She's speaking truths. How many of us got secrets that keep us from our relationships growing? That we have to feel like we have to be different people around the people we love because we're always afraid of how they might judge us. And the fact that we may not love them as much as they love us because we just don't look at it that way. Everybody got secrets we don't always tell our significant others or the people we love. And I feel like, would this world be a lot better if we were 100% honest? Truly ask yourself that question. Would our world be better if we were 100% honest? Facts. We can't fix shit if we don't talk about it. So that brings me back to my last question. Would the world be better if we were 100% honest about it? Wait, what'd she say?
Never face it. Let the past be the past till it's weightless.
Let the past be the past till it's weightless. That shit hurts me. Literally think about it. If you solve what's in your past, then it can't be a weight on your shoulders anymore. Woo! All right, chat. What you say about my question? Don't think so. I think secrets are normal and sometimes good things. You don't need to be honest about everything. Like, say a friend is like, does this look? But you see, here's the thing. And this is a little off topic, so I apologize with chat. I do feel that if we were 100% honest all the time, then no one would be emotional about states of honesty. The reason we don't be honest is because our honesty holds so much emotion behind it that the other individual may get hurt in the process. But what I look at it as, if we were always honest, then people would appreciate the honesty a lot more than the feelings and emotion it gives when you're honest. I think that is why, because people add emotions to what is logic sometimes, and I'm not saying that's always what it is, but what I'm saying is in the factor of if honesty was truly embedded in our heads, we wouldn't take offense to honesty because that's how someone truly feels. We in ourselves sometimes don't respect someone's honesty because we put our emotions first. That's how I look at it. And that's why we're so fixated on our past, because we think people will judge us. But think about when you tell that secret, how free you are when you tell that secret or when you tell that honesty. Because it's no longer a burden on you. When you know you need to say something, it burdens you. But once you tell that person, not in a malicious way, but in a kind way that you can state the honest part of it, it takes that weight off of you. And I honestly feel it helps you live longer. Stress is a deadly part of stress is very deadly to your body. Facts here. Hope only hurts, so why? Hope only hurts. What is the biggest killer? Is giving somebody false hope. Ah! Giving somebody false hope. You guys might have watched it when we did our previous in the stream. You probably guys saw it when we were watching the murder case. What did that guy do? He gave false hope to both women. He was not guilty of anything, but giving false hope is a killer.
Just forget it, but you're breaking through all the dark in me when I thought that nobody could, and you're wake. Just forget.
They dropping bars. I know I keep stopping, but think about it. If you have individuals that are literally in sync with you, and they're able to pull out trauma and really make you feel okay about sharing that trauma, we need more people in the world of that. Watching someone's face after they've been completely crushed by false hope hurts. Exactly. That's why I say false hope is one of the most deadliest things ever. And it's open. What does that mean? Take a leap of faith, baby. Take a leap of faith. But my main question, and I know I apologize. I'm going to stop apologizing because I'm going to keep stopping it because I'm going to talk through it. But my main question has become, what does free signify? Are you free of the chains and shackles of your own doing by holding on to secrets and fears of how others will perceive those secrets and fears? Is that what it means to be free? What free is very subjective to the individual who's captured. So I'm very curious. What would you guys consider free for you? If you want to share, that is. I like that. All right, we're going to conclude Demon Hunters today. We're going to conclude Demons. I could be all day, all here going through the entire K-pop Demon Hunter music. I'll leave some of that for next week because we're going to continue breaking down the Demon Hunters songs. I've never really, and I'll be honest with you, I've never really sat there and watched the whole music video and learn about the actual lyrics. But now that I actually learned the lyrics, because we reacted to it. Remember, we reacted to it. And I don't think I appreciated it as much when we reacted to it about the music that was being played. But now actually seeing the lyrics, it opens up a different view of, I think in today's culture, we needed a lot of these songs for the individuals that fully understand the verses. It's very catchy, don't get me wrong, like Golden. But there are other hits on this song, on this soundtrack of 20 that I feel like hit it. And like so far of all of them, I think my top one right now would have to be Free. Because I felt like Free really hit it. Golden, I feel like Golden has already been done and repeated. Though it's putting it in a different wrapping, the message has been said before. But Free, I also feel it has been said. And maybe I'm just not exposed. I'm not exposed to more K-pop music to fully understand the lyrics in which they speak. Maybe it happens all the time. But right now, Free is top of my list. And we'll continue this next week. So make sure y'all locked in on a next stream to give your opinion on my breakdowns. Ooh. Well, y'all. Well. All right, where are we at right now? Let me do a check of videos to react to. Looks like, Ray, you sent me one. Let's break down yours. And I'm going to do, Ray, just so you get a heads up, I'm going to do it the same way that I did with this one. So I hope, do these have the, I hope it has the lyrics. Yeah, I'm doing it right now, Ray. I hope it has the lyrics. Oh, it does. So I'm going to break it down like I did with the others. So let's get into it. This one is Losing Streak Sing-Along, Has Been Hotel. Let's get it. Oh, that's powerful. So from my understanding, she's already mentioning that you live for the hype. You live for the hype. You yearn for the hype. You covet the hype. That's what you essentially look for. You're looking for that royal flush. So you dive into the deep end with no remorse of how it comes out because you only have one objective. Royal flush, but you take what you can get. But you don't, and that just tells me if you take what you can get, that means you don't always win the jack prize. So you basically are okay with what what gift or what the results you end up, even if it's not what you want. Real quick story time. I used to date a girl who smoked cigarettes. Now, I hate fucking cigarettes. I don't like it. I don't like the smell of it on people. And I'm not going to say I loathe it. People do what they need to do. I just don't like the smell of cigarettes. But I dated a girl who smoked cigarettes. She never really smoked cigarettes around me, but I dated a girl who smoked cigarettes. And to me, mixed with her perfume and yes, I'm this old, the wine cooler she used to love, it was like a very interesting smell to me that became, I wouldn't say I was obsessed, but I loved being around her and that smell. So after it was the taste of after it was the wine cooler and the cigarette on her breath with the mix of her perfume, I couldn't. She had the best of me.
Yeah, boys.
You don't ever break your losing streak. Your losing streak is not getting what you want. And so you continue until you feel you're going to break that streak, but that broken streak don't ever come. For some people it don't. For others it may. But how much did you lose until you got to that broken streak? Think about it. Really, really think about it. For all the investment things that we do to get individuals or just to get what we want in life because that's what we want, there are more times than none we lost a lot of things in pursuit of that what you think was happiness, that by the time you get it, it doesn't mean as much as it once did when you first went for it. But here's the thing. You can say, but it's very subjective, Ray, if you think about it. You can win, what seems like a win to you could mean the ultimate loss of a battle. Really think about it. If we're both yearning for something and we want to get to it, what seems like we're itching forward can be a facade in which we're actually losing each battle and we haven't broken our losing streak yet. Ooh. I don't know if my hurt is how my brain, the amount of times I've been hurt in my life, I wonder if that's has me jaded about how I look at certain things. Very true. Or think about it this way, Ray. Us losing can be shadowed by it looking like we won. So for example, I'll tell you about a story, another story time, and then we'll move on to the next video. I'll tell you about a time where I thought I was winning with a woman, but really I was losing because we weren't playing the same game. So how many times have you had a significant other where you did everything possible to make that person happy? And you see glimpses and phrases where you see the improvement. And you feel you're winning because what you're getting back as far as the receiving back from what you're putting in is giving you positive signs, which in turn, improving that person was your ultimate goal. But at the end of the day, that gave them the confidence to know that they can do good, and you weren't part of what they considered good. So you lost the battle. You lost the war. You won the individual battles in helping them become a better person, which looks like you and I a win. But at the end of it, when they choose, thank you for building me into something, you lost the war because they didn't end up choosing you, which was your ultimate goal. So the other day I was thinking, I was deep in thought, and I posted something in my personal story. And There's sometimes I come out with quotes and I feel like it hits the mark. And this was my personal quote. I helped her find herself, and in doing so, she realized I was part of the chapter she needed to close. How many freaking times have we helped somebody to only learn the fact that we were part of the chapter that they were trying to turn? Really think about it that way. I was in my bag there. I sometimes do a little bit of poetry. But think about how many times that's happened. All right. Let's get to this next one, and then we'll wrap up from there for the day.
I'm meant to be.
It says, I think you could be if that's what you want, but who generally wants to be alone? So that's my question. If you're alone, if you want to be, I don't think anybody wants to be alone. I think people want to be alone because they can't find people they want to be with. Or they haven't found people that make them feel like they don't want to be alone. I don't ever think, unless you have a psychological problem, and it is part of that psychological problem where you want to be alone and you thrive and you want, I understand that. But most humans don't want to be alone. We're not built that way. We're built to be in a pact or around other individuals. So that's where it gets gray area of, is alone and lonely the same thing? Oh my gosh. How many of us do want to drink until we feel like we're somebody else? I still do that to this day. There are some times where I got to go out and have a good night and I drink and pretend I have a different life. Does that sound sad? Yeah, now that came out, it does sound sad. But there are things in life that everybody goes through that we have to deal with. And sometimes we just wish that we're not dealing with it. Double up the scotch. Pour that bitch. Depressive me is someone I don't like to meet. I will finish a whole bottle of Scotch whiskey by myself when I'm in my most depressive moment. And it is not a good thing. And I don't condone or tell anybody to ever do that. I have demons. Everyone has demons. My demons, sometimes the only way to suppress their words is to find the bottom of a bottle.
I missed the tune of first.
Oh, he just dropped the bar on that one. Deal me in, kick the sins, put it up a notch, diving in like quicksand, fast and sinking. What do you think that is? That is literally telling you you're basically going down the wrong path, but when you're drinking, you don't give a damn. Your depression, your feelings of it, everything seems fun, even though your life is literally sinking. Like you're fighting your life and it's like sinking in quicksand. You know, like the saying goes, when you're in quicksand, don't fight. Don't fight, because the more you fight, the more you sink. So if me just finding the bottom of the bottle, I'm not fighting no more. I'm just letting it be.
So once again, I'm leaving behind all of the cares that I've been overstaying.
The masks that we put on. Nobody asks you how you truly feel if we're all inebriated. Nobody asks you how you're truly feeling if we're all having a good time and drinking, because it's not your business to ask the depressive things. We're just enjoying the time. Let the liquor flow. You're not going to ask me how my life is because we're too busy enjoying the time. Oh, so belligerent drunk that all I need is my alcohol because I've numbed it. And then that's where people who are sober come and ask you, are you okay now? Why are you partying? Why are you shitting on my parade? Why are you shitting on my parade? I'm numb in a bottle. Literally. I don't need nothing when I have just my bottle. Look, I'm not an alcoholic. And I know this is pointing me in a very, very sad way. But I truly do believe that there are times where everybody has their depressive moments. Mine just so happens to coincide with me finishing a bottle. Oh, I love this song. Oh, thank you for that one. Oh, I'm putting that on one of my faves. Oh, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray with the banger. All right. Okay. I know I'm about to end the stream today, in a moment. I want y'all to know drinking is not the answer. I know I'm a hypocrite when I say it this way. If you do need help or you need anything of that sort, where you feel like self-harm or anything of that sort, please seek help. Please seek help. I've lost too many friends to self-harm while drinking. I'm not telling you to follow my lead. Please don't follow my lead. I'm not an idol. I am not someone that you should look up to. I'm just a black man on a box that you so happen to watch and enjoy my laughs and jokes. We all have demons that we fight. Sometimes I let my demons out and you see my demons. But if you truly feel alone, if you truly feel that you are going to hurt yourself, I am more than happy to talk to you. Am I a psychiatrist or a psychologist? No. But if you need somebody to talk to, you let me know that you need somebody to talk to, I'm more than happy to talk to you. I don't think anybody should ever be alone. But on the contrary, I also do feel if you think that way, seek help. There's always someone there to help you. I love you and someone loves you. And I have to tell myself that every day after I finish a bottle. But on the real though, I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys, especially the people that are day one. I love you guys. Thank you. And as for my next stream, you already know it's already posted. Make sure you hit the notification bell. We have movie night on Wednesday. Make sure you're tuned in for movie night because we are going to be reacting to Lord of the Rings. I thought I'd bust out Lord of the Rings. In all honesty, I watched it when I was a young kid and I never really paid much attention to it. So I want to revisit it as an adult and see how it goes. So we're going to do Lord of the Rings. So make sure you guys are locked in for this Wednesday movie night. We're going to be starting a little early because it's Lord of the Rings. I know it says 7:15 right now, but I'm probably going to move it up a little bit more because Lord of the Rings is like 3 hours. And yeah, that's a long movie. So stay tuned. Make sure you have that notification bell so that you get the email when we have movie night and we get things started. So thank you guys for watching and joining today. May you guys have the blessings you deserve. And I will see you guys. All right, I'll look into the extended version, Ray. And may you guys have a blessed Sunday as well as a blessed week. And I'll see y'all Wednesday. Love you, ma.